Good evening, and welcome to Science and Sorcery, the show where science communicators play Dungeons and Dragons to raise money for charity. My name is Dagmar de Wedeman. I am your host and Dungeon Master, and tonight we are starting a brand new campaign. Our most metal title yet, Witness to Ruin. It has been a long time in the making, and I'm incredibly excited to get to share this homebrew world with you and for you to meet some incredible characters, which will be played by people you may have seen on the show before. Our brilliant producer, Sam Langford, our fantastic artist, Alex Holt,
Woo.
the creator of many strange noises, Khalil Thurlaway, and the embodiment of cultish chaos in The Search for Mara, Rachel Williams.
Hi.
I don't know. I'm feeling weird. How's everyone feeling?
Excited.
Yeah, really excited.
Excited.
Really
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Good.
really
All
good
right.
to be
All
on
right.
with this.
Good. Well, so am I, and I don't have that many announcements before we get into things. But just so people know, we are raising money again this month for Gallop. Gallop is a charity which supports trans and other LGBTQ groups in the UK mostly, I believe. Not looked it up because my brain is not present.
Which bodes well, right? That bodes like really
Yeah.
well.
It's very present in the campaign. It's not present anywhere else.
Sure, Dagmar.
We are raising money for Gallop, and for as little as, I'm going to say, for this first episode, £5 or equivalent in your currency, you can give one of these lovely players or your beautiful DM inspiration on a roll. So I hope someone else will be looking at this, or let us know in the Twitch chats if you donated, because I'm not going to be doing that during these streams, guys. I'm sorry. Too many things that I need to be looking at instead. Our other announcement is, you might have seen the ads pop up for us already. We have a charity one-shot next week, Friday, on the 24th. Week later than usual because of St. Patrick's Day. Alex is going to be DMing The Transaction, where a bunch of trans people go and steal remind me what they're called?
The testosteropol and the estrogen.
There we go. Yeah. That one's going to be a lot of fun. I'm probably going to miss it, sadly, because I'm technically on holiday. But it's a heist. I love heists. It's going to be amazing. The cast is fantastic. So remember to tune in for that next week. Other announcements. Ads on Twitch are back up because they're no longer putting up ads for Blood Libel the game. So that's good. We might earn some money again. If you don't want to see ads, fair enough, you can subscribe. We have subscriber goals. We're looking for how many more subscribers? 8 more until we get to 10 new subscribers, which is exciting. Also tell your friends about this. Get them to come and watch and subscribe and like. I said those out of order.
Follow is
Follow.
important.
That's the other one. We're doing great, everybody.
Off to a great start.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I believe that is all of our announcements.
Cool. Before we get started, could you move your microphone just a little bit further away from your face, please, Dagmar? It's a bit echoey.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. That's grand.
It is now in my armpit.
We can hear you nice and
So
clearly.
if it starts rubbing against my arm, let me know and I can move it somewhere else. My mind's gone blank. Are you guys ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I've done the introductions for the players, but let me introduce our audience to the new world which we will be entering. Join me as we step into the magical realm of Solore, a small and unassuming country nestled into a deep valley on a continent of Amoya. a peaceful realm. It has known neither war nor strife for many years. Not during the reign of Sovereign Serata Palain Divaris Gastellan. However, this quiet country was disrupted days ago, when an incredible earthquake shook the region. Since then, the Sovereign has ordered all those under their command to assist in relief efforts as the towns and cities begin to tend to the wounded, bury their dead, and clear the rubble. Our story begins as the sun rises over the Briskwold Mountains, illuminating the Andale Plain and ricocheting light up the Kala River that bisects the valley, until it empties gently into the Great Lake Palain. As the world begins to wake to a sunny spring day, the ground rumbles gently as an aftershock rolls through the valley. The metallic leaves of the trees which cover the Golden Isle shake with the force, casting strange patterns over the ground as they reflect the sun's morning light. Great stone temples rise up amidst the trees, their elegantly carved architecture holding steady for the most part. Some of the buildings and bridges appear damaged, and workers quickly rush out to stabilize those most at risk of collapsing further after the initial quake. As the temple workers wake and start their days, our story begins to take shape. Sitting under a tree on one of the terraces of the houses of Thelav, the temples of the deity of knowledge, is a young furbolg. Khalil, would you like to describe to the audience what we see?
So even though he's sitting cross-legged, this guy is tall. You can tell that standing up, probably over 7 foot, maybe 7'6". His skin is a kind of dark grayish blue, the color of a sky threatening to rain. And on top of that is a mop of curly black hair with the slight slight shine here and there of copper wires woven through his curls. They wear copper chainmail and a cape of dark blue, and with highlights of turquoises and purples. Bare feet, doesn't own any shoes, this guy. And he's sitting there cross-legged, back straight, eyes shut, trying to connect with his deities and with the tree and the land, because for someone so attuned to the balance of nature, something ain't right.
And Nimbo, as you sit there in your morning meditation, you hear soft footsteps exiting the temple behind you. A familiar red. And you feel, more than hear, someone sit down beside you. First, in silence, until eventually a hand reaches out and gently touches yours. You see a thin, frail woman with pale brown skin, like the cracked earth of an area that has been under intense drought. Very curly black hair, curlier than your own, and deep brown eyes looking up at you. This is Ruth. You know Ruth very well. She's wearing her normal pale gray priest's robes, her symbol to the goddess hanging down in front of her chest. Good morning, Nimbo. I thought I might find you here.
Nimbo opens his eyes. Yes, sorry, I haven't been making it to many classes recently. I've been, you know, with all this
Well-
going on.
Well, my dear, there haven't been any classes the past few days.
Oh, good, good.
We've all been a bit
Sorry.
busy. No need to apologize.
How is it going? Do we know what's causing all of this? What's been going on? I haven't really been able to get hold of either, Vias or either of my deities.
There is a lot going on, and I cannot tell you everything myself, but you may soon learn more. The High Priestess has a task for you.
Oh, but me? Wow, I didn't think that was gonna happen so soon. I haven't even finished my studies.
It looks like you may need to finish those on the road.
Well,
We've
I've
been
spent long
called-
enough inside. Maybe it's time
You
to
have.
see some sky.
We've been sending out a lot of the final year students, mostly to assist with the healing of the injured and the rebuilding. But the priestess has a specific task in mind for you and several others. The first
Okay.
part of this task is to go and await your future companions. They will meet you at the edge of the Golden Isle on the Northern Twin, the great bridge that spans between the Isle and the capital, Lishold.
Okay, some purpose. Maybe this'll help balance.
I believe it will.
Do I know who they are?
I believe one of them is a half-orc coming from Eben Point, and the other two are students at Cigaris. Yep, we're doing great. Cigaris, the Institute of Magic in Lishold. They will not know their way around the Isle.
Yes, and I don't mean to be rude, but aren't arcane casters a bit of a liability sometimes?
These two might be, you're right.
Okay, well,
That was DM speak. I know what these two are like.
Us?
well, it'll take all the serenity of the gods to
Sometimes
take
a
on this
little bit of-
task and maintain the balance.
Sometimes a little bit of chaos can be helpful.
Oh, don't we know it?
Mm.
But the balance will be restored in the end.
Yes. The High Priestess has requested that once your companions join you, you make your way to the Temple of Varea, and she will give you your further instructions.
As you wish.
Nimbo, before you go, I know the recent days have caused you great anxiety. But it is time for you to go out and help restore the balance. It will be restored, as you say, but it will not do so on its own. Remember what the goddess has taught you. Your gifts, can cause great harm if you so choose. But they can also heal. So go, preserve the balance of the realm. Do not forsake the balance within yourself.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see how much of each is needed.
Good.
You taught me well.
You can always return here, if you need to.
Your faith in me means a lot.
You're a good student. Interesting. But you have a lot of potential.
Nimbo blushes slightly at that, which is actually hard to tell under his kind of dark greyish blue skin, but there's a slight pinkening of the cheeks. And he stands, and as he stands, the air kind of whips around him, and with this kind of newfound energy of his, there's like a slight crackle of static electricity along the links of his chainmail. And he reaches down beside him where he had laid his, his kind of pouches and stuff that he'd taken off. And yeah, I'm going to head back to my quarters to pick up my shield and my kind of it's kind of like a mace, but it's got a kind of spherical brass head. And as he picks it up, that kind of slightly crackles with electricity. Slings the shield and the mace at his back and his side. Deep breath, center myself, and I head off to the bridge.
All right. And as Nimbo begins to make his way to the bridge, we also find ourselves traveling to the Northern Twin, one of the two great bridges which spans the river on either side of the Golden Isle, this one leading to the capital of Lishold. The city has awoken early, as always. Fishing boats travel out of the docks towards the lake, while larger merchant vessels, emblazoned with various sigils and logos, leave to head upstream towards Elmsford and the Myron Hills. On the outskirts of Lishold, we hear the clang of metal on metal, and watch an elderly Harangon pacing up and down a courtyard filled with students dressed in the livery of the royal family. A dragonborn dressed in the same uniform dodges through the practice yard towards him. Watching all of this happen, looking out over her fellow students, albeit older by some years than these students, is a half-orc. Rachel, would you like to describe your character?
Sure thing. Michaelin Prescott Smythe, or Muck for short, is probably hanging around the edge of this group of students, keeping a distance, watching, assessing a little bit. She's a half-orc. She's relatively tall for a half-orc, but that doesn't make her, any kind of giant. And she's kitted out in her typical black and red, with a massive great sword with a black hilt with bronze embellishment on it. Her hair's in a kind of like non-fantasy Gen Z style mullet. She obviously styles herself as a little bit of a rebel, which she may be compensating for something that we might get into a bit later. But yeah, at the moment she's a bit standoffish. She's got that typical half-orc, general intimidating self around her. But she's not doing anyone any harm. She's just keeping an eye out and seeing what comes next.
And what comes next, Muck, as you're watching the younger students practice the maneuvers which you've done thousands, if not 10,000 times in your years at Ebon Point, the military academy of the realm. You watch as this elderly Harangon, light brown fur, heavy armor with the crest of Solore on his breast, very, very beefy Harangon, despite his age, starts slowly coming towards you, holding the letter which the Dragonborn brought him. Commander Adker Morin makes his way over to where you are at the edge of this crowd, and leans next to you. Significantly shorter, but still with a very imposing presence. And you know this guy. This is the guy who's been doling out punishments and making you run drills for the past nearly 5 years. Well, Muck, it looks like your time at Ebon Point has finally come to an end.
You never know. The year's not over yet.
I'm afraid it's out of my hands now.
Oh, after all we've been through, you can't just give me one more year, one more sweet year of, Muck and Morin.
Sighs deeply, vaguely amused. Oh, I've already been pushing our luck, keeping you here as long as I have. But now the Sovereign has decided it is time for you to leave. Received special instructions. You are to travel to the Golden Isle for a special assignment under the High Priestess of Aurea herself. You are to set out immediately and go meet a young furbolg. He will await you on the bridge.
I mean, fine. I guess it's not too far from here. We'll see if I, stick around, or maybe you might find me back here tomorrow.
If I find you back here tomorrow, Muck, I'm going to have you mucking out the stables for the rest of the year.
Oh, okay, fine. You make a very convincing point. Fine. Let's see what I can get up to outside of this little trading camp.
Wait, young one. For all of our disagreements over the years, all of the times where you did something you weren't supposed to, all of the punishments I doled out, I have to say you do remind me of myself at your age.
I knew it!
But you are now faster than I am, now that I am getting on in years. You're probably stronger than I ever was because of your size. But I've taught you all I can for now. You need to go out into the world, learn some things out there before you return. And most importantly, you need to prove to yourself what I already know. You are not your ancestors.
Thank you.
You will break free from their shadow soon enough, as long as you remember to hold true to your code and to who you are. Don't let them bully you.
Well, yeah, I guess. Cool. Like, thanks, I guess. That's kind of cool. They've all got really bad form, I don't know if you've noticed. It seems like you're going to have a lot of work cut out for you. Good luck, and thanks, I guess. Thanks.
I'll see you again soon enough.
Bye. And I'm running away.
Commander
Very
turns
low
back to the
charisma.
younger... The commander turns back to the younger recruits and immediately starts correcting everyone's form because you were right and they were terrible. Muck, you collect your belongings, your pack for travel, and you begin to make your way out of the academy towards the bridge. Not needing to enter the city, thankfully, which I believe you would not be too eager to do at this point. So as you set off on your assignments, we finally enter the city of Lisbon. And here too, buildings lie in ruin. Guards guide merchants and shoppers around piles of rubble, and the famous street market is beginning to rouse, but some stalls still lie collapsed. As the merchants finish laying out their wares in the market, a soft orchestra of voices begins to rise up. And here, set back a little in the western part of the city, lies Cigarra's Institute of Magic. In their office overlooking the great library complex, High Arcanist Marley Spriggs briefly loses their humanoid shape as they read the missive from the Sovereign. The plasmoid reforms, mutters, "I don't know why the sovereign would pick these two. There must be some kind of reason. Let's hope it pans out how they expect. Before taking out a couple of short pieces of copper wire and speaking the words to a sending spell. As the first spell is sent off, a young Eladrin hears the words, Lady Blirta, would you please come to my office at once? You have received a summons. Alex.
Okay. So you see a slender Eladrin, a sort of pale elf. She is bald. She has an eye patch over her left eye, and she has a look of disdain upon her face.
Do you, you're currently in your dorm room. Do you go to the High Arcanist's office?
I roll my eyes and then yes.
All right. As Blirta, your
Yes.
eye. As Blirta sets out, we find ourselves just down the corridor, in the room of a young Unsina, who is at that moment receiving the second sending message the High Arcanist sent off. Emerald, would you please come to my office at once? You have received a summons.
Oh dear.
Sam.
Yeah, you see Emerald Snowflake, who is an Unsina, which is a homebrewed species that is debuting this evening on Science and Sorcery. You see this humanoid snow leopard with a small familiar on their shoulder. This is Yarrow, who's a small pika. Have kind of greyish fur, wearing this kind of brown robe, carrying a wooden, well, not a wooden, it's not a wooden, a bone wand made from ibex bone. And I have bright green emerald eyes, which extends out from my eyeballs into my face as well.
You also begin to make your way to the High Arcanist's office, encountering Blirta in the hallway. Probably ignoring each other.
I just snort, I think.
Oh boy.
I will hiss back.
Oh, we're off to a great start. You both expecting each other to veer off at some point, end up following the exact same path to High Arcanist Sprague's office. And before you actually get to knock on the door swings open, allowing you to enter. You see this light green plasmoid in a humanoid shape, but with no facial features, just a blank oval, no hair, dressed in these black wizard's robes. Unsettling to many people, you both will be familiar with the High Arcanist. They are the headmaster of the institutes, and you will have at least seen them, if not spoken before. Thank you both for coming so quickly. The Sovereign has requested your presence on the Golden Isle. I did hope to keep you both here a little bit longer. You are a little younger than we would normally send out our students, but, well, needs must.
And this was us specifically? That...
Yes, Lady Blirta and Emerald Snowflake. Specifically. At the request of the High Priestess.
Was there any indication given as to why it was us?
No. But there must be a good reason. The High Priestess does not do things without reasons.
I mean, it's probably because she wanted the best, and also, Emerald's quite fluffy, I guess. That's people like fluffy things.
It's M, thank you. No need for emerald. Hi, Arcanist, I feel confused. I don't understand why this one is coming.
I must admit, you are both interesting students. Gifted, certainly. Although some of your time here may be colored in a strange light. It doesn't have eyes. You're not sure where the Arcanist is looking, if they're looking at all. You both might feel targeted by that statement. I'll leave that up to you. And it is true that you are a bit younger than normal for leaving the Institute, but, well, the earthquake and everything, so we are sending out students a bit sooner to finish their education elsewhere in the realm. You've learned much here, both of you, and you will learn more out there. I will ask you to look out for one another. You will need each other's strengths. Never forget that we are all stronger together.
Sure.
I can't promise anything, but if it's what the Sovereign wants and it's what you ask, then Yarrow and I will do our best.
Does this mean we functionally graduate earlier?
Essentially, yes. The High Priestess will, I'm sure, explain more. A bit unconventional for students of Sigaris, but so be it. You are to go to the Golden Isle, where a young Furbolg will await you, and will escort you to the Temple of Araya. I do not believe I have ever been. I assume you have also not been there.
I can't say, but
then I suggest you go gather your things and go and find this Furbolg.
very well then.
Before we leave this room, what sorts of things are kind of? Is there like a desk at the?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes,
there is a desk, Sam.
Can I see anything valuable on it?
There's a quill and a jar of ink. You assume it's probably like the fancy type of ink that people use for copying spells. So relatively valuable, at least for you, would have quite a bit of value. There's also, it looks to you a little bit like a crystal ball. You're not sure if it's like a functional crystal ball or just like a nice circular rock, but like on a little stand. And the rest is just books.
And is the plasmoid in between me and that?
Yes. No, plasmoid's on the other side of the desk.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll a dice to decide which of these two objects.
Yep.
Emerald would like to walk up and push the crystal ball off of the desk.
Yep. Okay. You do. The High Arcanist just sits there, watches this happen, watch you push it, and a mage hand appears catching the ball before it shatters on the ground.
Well, you are really sending me with the best here, aren't you?
I'm just gonna have to do it another time somewhere else. Okay.
As you leave, Blirta, in your head you hear, "Be nice, Lady Blirta." And in your head you hear, "Really, Emerald, that was a bit rude." High Arcanist doesn't speak. And the voice in your head seemed steadier than the voice that was spoken, as if They're unused to speaking out loud. You return to your rooms, gather your things, and set out of the city towards the Northern Twin and the Golden Isle, where a young furbolg awaits you. Nimbo, you have been waiting at the edge of the isle for some indication of who these people you're waiting for might be. You assume they know to look for you, and eventually you see, arriving first, dressed in black and red armor, a half-orc, similar age to you.
So a lot of my uncertainty and kind of insecurity earlier has kind of been allayed by getting a bit of purpose and the confidence that was placed in me. But you know, as Muck arrives, you do see me kind of fiddling with one of my many kind of earrings of different metals, and just kind of as I see you kind of come around the corner, kind of start to look cool. I think are you?
Yeah, I'm looking for a furbolg, and you are one, right? Yeah, are you waiting or?
Have you come from the Martial Academy?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's,
great! Yeah,
I'm Muck.
Great, Nimbo. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Nimbo.
Do you know any more about this than I do? All I know is I'm meant to, take you to the High Priestess of Varaya.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty out of the loop. But I brought my sword with me, so it's gonna be fine, basically.
Oh, cool. Yeah, love your vibe. I
Thanks,
feel like
Nimbo.
I don't know, a little bit of certainty goes a long way.
Yeah, I guess there's just nothing else we can do. I mean, I feel like I really have to be here. Like, I don't think there's another option for me. So I'm just gonna give it my all, and like, this is the thing, high priestesses and sovereigns, like, they might have some ideas about what they want from this whole situation, which I know absolutely nothing about. But I just think we just got to turn up and do what's right, really. So that's the plan. That is the plan.
I'm just gonna pause you there. It's not what
Okay.
the High Priestess wants. She's a conduit for the will of Varaya. Varaya, supreme goddess of balance.
I guess if you're
keeps
like,
the world
into that kind of thing,
in order, but still flowing. No?
Yeah,
Not ringing
that's
any
just
bells?
not for me. It's not for me, honestly.
Okay.
I just feel like, it's easy to leave everything up to the gods. Like, someone's got to actually make a bit of positive change. So,
Oh yeah,
I'm
what do you
just
think
here
this
to
is
do the
for?
right
I
thing.
pick up my mace.
I just go, sweet.
The will is the gods, but they don't have hands.
Interesting point. You know what? I think we may not agree on everything, but I think we've got the same spirit. So I wonder what the other guys are like.
And as
Yeah,
you two
dunno.
are arguing religion, I assume, having walked in silence maybe several feet apart this whole time, Blirta and Em, you come up on a furbolg and a half-orc having this conversation.
So all I'm saying is, Varius is, the god of nature, and Varius the god of balance, and between them, it's the balance of nature. It's what keeps everything ticking.
Oh,
Well,
dear
then
God.
why don't
We've
you
got a
just have-
zealot here, don't we? Just what they needed.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Golden Isle.
Nice
Holiest place around.
Wonderful.
Hey, I'm Muck. Who are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Lady Blirta von Madrigal, but just Blirta is fine.
Blirta, lovely to meet
And,
you. I'm
and your
Nimbo.
name, sorry? You're Muck. And my furbolg friend?
Oh, I'm Nimbo. And you? I turn to M.
M is, after the glass ball didn't smash, M is currently looking around at the moment, and I'm interested to know if I can find any trails of rats or mice.
Go ahead and make a perception or a survival check. First roll of the campaign, folks.
Survival.
Crit.
That's gonna be a 16.
Okay. Are you perception or survival?
Survival.
Survival. You are good at picking out the trails of these little small creatures. You on the bridge where you are, you don't notice any mammal tracks. There's been some like small birds, but they've kind of fled as you approached. On the isle itself, just past where Nimbo is currently standing, you see a rustling under some bushes, which you assume might have been a small mammal of some kind.
Okay. On seeing that, I'm M. And just gonna walk off in the direction of that.
Oh, wait. Oh, just some ground rules, everybody, before we go too
She's
far
very weird.
onto the
She
Golden
won't listen
Isle.
to you. She's in her own world.
Well, she may be in her own world. She's also on the God's Isle. This is, just the temple district. There are some rules. If we could just be a bit respectful, I know we've all got our different backgrounds and experiences and stuff, but we are going to go and see one of the most important voices and conduits of one of the prime deities. So
yeah, but I mean, like, I don't want to. Like, she's kind of summoned me, right? Like, so
if she summoned you, then it must mean that Varaya has summoned you, which is a higher calling, right?
Which by you go.
Yeah, same calling to me. I just got the message through my commander. Same line.
By your logic here, like, your deities have picked us specifically, I guess. So that means that they like the qualities that we have for some reason, and therefore, I think we are fine as we are.
Agreed.
Fair point. So is Em still going after that little rustling noise?
I've barely been listening to the conversation that Nimbo's been having. Em has got into little pounce mode.
Okay. The rustling has stopped. You think whatever it was might have moved out a little bit further. You might need to go and you can try to pounce on the bush. There might not be anything in there anymore. You may need to go around and see if you can see where the thing went.
I think for now I'll head back to the group.
Okay.
Next time.
Oh, okay. So ready to go? If we could try to not blow anything up or anything. I mean, not looking at anyone in particular or anything. But this is my home. So not my home, but where I've been. It's been my home for the last couple of years. It's my spiritual home. Anyway, let's go. All of my cool and confidence that was earlier has been completely lost by kind of meeting strangers who are quite different.
Yes, they are. Nimbo begins to lead the three of you who have... Muck, you're not very religious either. None of you have probably ever been here, maybe as a child with your parents or something. Your parents force you to go to church or temple or whatever. But you enter the Isle, and it is a slightly imposing place. The trees aren't entirely normal. They have this strange metallic golden leaves. Nimbo, you're very familiar with this, but they cause a very strange dappled lighting pattern on the ground as it ricochets the lights everywhere. A very sheltered but open at the same time. Down here on the ground, there's bushes. There's small rivulets and canals everywhere with beautifully carved bridges, all constructed out of these dark marble worked with gold and copper. Magical lanterns light at regular intervals to ensure nothing becomes too dark, and the plants themselves seem to give off a kind of bioluminescent glow. Rising up between the foliage, you can see the temples, these carved marble buildings rising up all over the place, smaller, larger, of all shapes and sizes, with different symbols carved on the side to indicate which deity is worshipped there. And you see many clerics and other workers on this isle rushing around, starting to go about their duties. It's now getting towards mid-morning, the time it's taken you to travel here, and everything seems to be in full swing. Nimbo takes you the slightly scenic, but also relatively direct route towards the great temple of Pharrea. And you see it rising up before you. Is light grey marble with thin white and gold veins throughout. A slightly slanted wooden roof that starts to blend in with the surrounding foliage. Big stained glass windows on the front and around the sides, showing, the ones you can see on the front, cycles of life and death. As you approach over this wide bridge with these beautiful mosaic floors, you feel the ground rumble beneath you as another aftershock rocks through the area. I would like everyone to make a dexterity saving throw to try to keep your feet.
$13.
I got 14.
It's a big 3.
That was your -1, Dex.
Mm-hmm.
15 for me.
Okay, Nimbo, M, and Blirta, you all topple to the ground. Muck, you manage to catch your footing, leaning against one of the pillars on the side of the bridge, as the ground in front of you begins to crack open, and a horrific stench rises up out of the ground. Makes you gag for a moment, and as the three of you on the ground start to sit up and go to get back onto your feet, you watch as a strange blue-gray creature with a long tongue and big claws crawls its way out of the crack in the ground, two bat-like creatures shooting up beside it. The creature looks at you, snarls, and starts moving in your direction. I need everyone to roll initiative.
This doesn't look good.
This thing smells like a fucking bugbear scrotum.
This isn't normal, by the way.
What?
I rolled a 10.
Why have they sent us here and have to deal with this?
14.
Oh, this is new.
14 for Blirta.
11.
Let's do this.
And M, what did you get?
14.
14 as well. Okay, M and Blirta, who's got the higher dex?
I have 15.
19.
Okay, so M will go before Blirta. Don't think I can change that. Okay. And let me show you what it is you can see on your map.
Coy.
Yes, there's some beautiful fish on the sides there. So you're on this bridge. 3 of you are currently prone. Let me indicate that. Prone, 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 prone. There we go.
I'm sure this is fine.
Conditions, prone. Yeah, you'll be fine. And you're all prone. There we go. Yeah, you see this strange creature up ahead with these two smaller things flying in the air next to you. And the first thing that's going to happen is this creature is going to start making its way towards you. It has... and it is going to use its action to dash to get up towards Blirta and Nimbo, who are at the front. As it comes closer to you, you realize the smell from earlier is wafting off of this thing in, just rolling down beside it. It smells like something died and was left out in the sun for too long, but not yet long enough.
He's just gross.
That is going to be that creature's turn, which then brings us to M. You're on the ground. This thing is over there.
I need to get the screen back, like showing exactly what it needs to, because it decided to look at something else. But I am going to, I am gonna just hit it with a chromatic orb.
Okay.
Start with, I think. No, firebolt. I'm gonna start with a firebolt.
Okay. You are currently prone, so would you like to stand up?
Yeah. I'll get up.
All right, you're gonna use your movement to get up. All right. Okay. You are back on your feet. You can absolutely try to hit it with a firebolt. That is an attack roll on your part, I believe.
Yep. It's a natural 1.
Oh. Oh no. That's actually a second natural one because I rolled a nat 1 on one of the initiatives. You're scrambling up onto your feet, and as you in your panic at this thing suddenly appearing, you losing your footing, which you never do, you fire off your firebolt before you fully stood up, and it arcs over the shoulder of this strange creature. You have a bonus action?
No, that's it.
Okay. And is there anything you would like Yarrow to do? Yarrow cannot attack or anything, but they can move.
No, under the circumstances, I'm gonna be. Well, Hogan has just asked because he's donated like points if I can have advantage on that, or is it too late now?
It's too late now. Yeah.
That's fine. Thanks, Hogan.
You can have advantage on the next roll.
But that's it. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah. No, if you donating points, you can give advantage, but it needs to be before the roll is made, or at least before it's resolved. Okay. In that case, that brings us to Blirta. Blirta, I need you to start by making a Constitution saving throw, as this stench overwhelms your senses.
That will be 9.
9. You retch, and you cannot get your focus to move away from this stench. You are poisoned until the start of your next turn.
Okay, so what does that do again?
Disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay, so first of all, I am going to Misty Step to there.
All right.
Oh, actually,
Okay.
question first.
Yes.
What is the edge of this bridge like? And how high
it's
is
like-
it relative to the creature, basically?
The edge of the bridge, it's not very high because the bridge itself is like basically flush with the surface of the water, which is very shallow. So there is a railing, but it's too thin to stand on.
Okay, that's fine. Does a disadvantage on an attack roll include a spell attack?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to fucking twat, and I'm going to take off my eye patch, and where my left eye would be is this like slowly revolving like fire opal in like loads of colors.
Ooh.
And I'm going to fire from my eyeball an eldritch blast at this creature.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll disadvantage.
Okay, so disadvantage, that is still a 15.
15 hits. You can roll your damage.
Okie dokie. So that is 14 damage.
Nice.
The other interesting thing I have, though, is that I have repelling blast. So I push him
Okay.
back 10 foot, which hopefully pushes him off the edge of the...
It does. It topples over the back of the railing and lands splashing down into the water. It lands prone as it's gone over the edge. So that is now there. What does your Eldritch Blast look like?
So it looks like a thin beam of like technicolored fire.
Yeah. So there's the rest of you watch as Blirta, lifting up her eye patch, shoots some kind of strange multicolored light magic out of her eye and knocks this creature down off the bridge into the pond. And that was bonus action. You have your movement if you want to use it.
I will now move down here behind the...
The guy with the shield?
Yeah, behind the people who are tougher than me, which is everyone.
All right. In that case, it brings us to Nimbo.
Okay, so I've just seen this streak of light shoot over me as I'm on the ground, knock this thing down as it charges towards us, and I kind of shake my head to get over the shock, and that sense of kind of duty rises up again in me, and I'm like, not on my island. And so I get to my feet, and I got my shield, pull out my mace, and with my bonus action, I'm going to cast Shillelagh.
Okay.
So it kind of, you hear a kind of a quiet, distant rumble of thunder as it starts to crackle with kind of lightning and electrical energy. Then I'm gonna move. How do I move on this VTT? I'm gonna
You
move.
just make sure you're on select, and you should just be able to drag.
Aha! Select, not ruler. Professionals. I'm gonna move over. So with this creature being kind of on its, prone in the water, it's still reachable from the bridge,
It's still
right?
reachable. Yeah.
Great. So I'm gonna go up to it, and I'm gonna smash it.
Yeah.
All
right.
Because it's prone.
Smite it.
Absolutely. You are at advantage because it is prone. The barrier for you comes up to about your knees, and with your reach, with the length of your arms, and then your mace, you can easily slam down towards the creature. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Sweet. That's gonna be a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
Oh, what? 1 on damage. That's 4 damage.
Okay. What kind of damage is this?
Magical bludgeoning.
Magic bludgeoning at this point, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, you bring the mace down onto the creature, knocking it further down into the water as it splashes up on either side. Your crackling mace, like, sending out sparks in every direction. The creature snarls back up at you, like, flinging water at you with its massive tongue.
As I'm bringing the mace down, I apologize to the fish. I'm like,
the fish are long gone. The fish have used their defensive sea start maneuvers to get all the way to the other end of the pond, and they are panting.
Plants can also understand me when I speak as a furball, so I apologize to all the living things in the pond. Yeah. And then
the lily pads are probably very grateful. The algae, who knows how they feel. All right, and then that brings us to Muck.
Okay, so can I quickly recap the battle?
Yes.
Obviously, all the floor went shaking, all that stuff happened, and then this big stinking guy comes out, and he walked towards us, but he didn't do anything. Is he like I think Muck is having a moment of like, looks aren't all they seem, and we just walked through this big old fancy temple place, right? So who knows who this guy is? He might be a cool guy. We just don't know that for sure. So,
Nimbo did yell, "This isn't normal!"
Yeah, but I don't trust you. Because you have views that I don't agree with.
My vote is this guy is fucking gross.
Okay. All right. I think if I'm role playing, getting into character, then what I would probably do is, can I like use my action to ready myself, but shout like, "Oi, mate, what's your problem?" And like stand with my swords, like kind of, I'm readying myself for if he raises his arm to attack us again.
Okay, you're not current. Do you want to move close enough that you'd be able to hit him?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You can move up. If you move up next to Nimbo, you'll be able to hit him. And if the creature tries to attack either of you again, your action will trigger. You'll be able to make a strike against it.
All right, amazing. Oh yeah, did someone move?
Yep.
Cool.
I've just moved you. Yes.
Thank you.
That's all right. Yeah.
And also, do we know what what kind of guy he is?
You can make a history or a nature check.
I'm gonna go
or
history.
an arcana check.
Oh, I clicked history already.
All right.
Oh, I got 22.
Natural 20. First nat 20.
Nice.
You have
Air
read
horn
about
noises.
things like this. Air horn noises. Sam, the Twitch, the above VTC isn't updating on the Twitch stream. There we go. Okay, natural 20 on the history check. You've read about these things. You've read books on like battles from days past, like historic events, and
Definitely.
there was a book which you've read several times because it was just so interesting to you for whatever reason, about a great battle against a kingdom controlled by a necromancer who would raise the dead. And this creature sounds like one of the creatures in this guy's army. This sounds like a thing called a ghast.
Ghast. Okay.
Terrible monsters, which part of their whole effectiveness in these battles was the fact that they smelled so bad made even the most hardened soldiers struggle not to be affected by it when encountering these things in combat. And it made these creatures, for some reason, were imbued with energy that made them resistant to clerics and other holy effects that they might face on the battlefield.
Okay.
Yeah, not a friend. So if you want to change your mind and try to attack it, you can do so.
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead, and it is still prone, so you have advantage on your roll. So go ahead and roll your attacks.
Okay, I'm coming. Here I come. Oh wait, so to hit, what's that? 12.
You're at advantage, so roll again.
You. Not 20, baby, 25. I'm hitting that guy.
Okay, go ahead and roll double damage as you first come up to this thing thinking maybe it's a cool guy, and then as you get closer you realize, hold on, I've read about you, and decide, no, I'm not taking the risk, and you bring your greatsword down on top of it.
Let me hit those dice. Okay, I got 20 altogether.
How would you like to do this?
Okay, so I'm kind of walking, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I think this is the right thing to do. Oh, okay, yeah, fuck it. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, and then I bring my sword up. I go, I really, really hope this is the right thing to do. And I just slam it down in his head.
You hold your sword. You go from just like kind of holding it to just switching it. So both hands on the greatsword's hilt, and you just drive it down. This blackish liquid. You're not sure if it's blood or if it's something else oozing out of it into the pond. As this creature takes another shuddering breath and then collapses backward, defeated.
Whew.
I don't think I have a condition marker for it being dead, but it's definitely dead. I will just remove it. Okay, that is your turn. It now comes to those strange bat-like creatures which came out of the ground with the ghast. The two that have flown up. It's not my stats. There was my stats. Let me see. How far away are you? Yeah. The first two fly up to the creature closest to them, Nimbo. These two small bat-like creatures.
This isn't normal either.
They're both going to make attacks against you.
Bring it on.
That's an 8 and a nat 19 for a 24.
Yeah, that's 24.
Yes, okay. This one of the bats bumps up against your chainmail, scrabbling to get a grip on it. As you see now that it's closer, it's sort of a cross between a large bat and an oversized mosquito. But its legs end in these sharp pincers, and one of them latches onto the side of your neck. This long needle-like proboscis, piercing into your skin as it begins to drain out your blood. You take 7 points of piercing damage, and this thing is latched onto your face.
It's Mothman.
Quick, someone get a bright light.
Where's Lux the lamp salesman when we need him? As this happens, you watch, the rest of you watch, I assume Nimbos might be distracted, as two more creatures fly up out of the cracks in the ground and start moving towards you, although they won't be able to make it very far just yet. Having used most of their movement to get out of the ground. That brings us back to the top of the round. And Nimbo, I believe. No, sorry, M. M is first.
So there's two of these creatures that are surrounding Nimbo, one of which is attached to Nimbo.
Yes, the other one is like scrabbling at Nimbo's armor, trying to get a grip still.
The one that is not attached, I am gonna cast Chromatic Orb at it.
I thought you said Traumatic Orb, but yes, you can cast either of those spells.
Chromatic Orb would work for my character, so...
I guess it does psychic damage then?
So I need to roll. That is going to be a 19 for 24.
Yeah, that hits.
And I'm going to throw cold damage at this thing.
Okay, exciting.
And that's going to be 3d8.
It doesn't matter what you roll.
Is it gone?
Yeah, this thing has 3 hit points. So this particular one, the one not attached, suddenly freezes in midair, and then collapses to the ground, shattering on impact. Because it was about 5 feet up. It's a very small thing. That one is dead. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I would like to just sniff the air to see if I can tell anything about the creatures that I am seeing.
Are you trying to make a nature check?
No. I want to check if I can see any fey fiend.
Okay. So there is a faint scent of undead that is rapidly fading.
Okay. That's it.
Oh, and a sense of fey from
I just look at my shoulder.
Your shoulder. Yeah. Yes.
That's me.
All right. In that case, that brings us to Blirta.
Okay. Okay. I said. Well, Sword Girl, you okay getting the one off his face? I will take down one of these. And do I still have disadvantage, or is that gone now?
No, it was ended at the start of your next turn.
Does a
Which one are you aiming for?
I will go for the closer of the faraway ones.
Yep.
There's a
All
13
right.
hit.
13 just misses.
Ah.
This creature is very small and very fast, and it sort of like swerves around this ray of prismatic colored light that shoots out from your eye.
Fucking shit. I hit the bloody thing off the fucking bridge already.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do?
Do I have anything bonus actiony I can do? I can. Okay, that's the thing I didn't know I could do. I will also take a Oh, I'm just gonna move like further back, like off the bottom of the screen a bit.
Okay. All right, go for it.
Brave tactical withdrawal.
Yes.
Before we move on,
then...
can I just let the chat know that because I was muted, M told Blirta that they're shit. That's what happened.
Okay, that brings us to Nimbo. You have a thing attached to your neck. It's draining your blood.
Yes. My hands are full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and wedge the shield under one side of it, and then with my kind of crackling club, just kind of like one of those electric fly swatters, just try and like I'll make an attack against it.
Yep, go for it. It's not grappling you or anything, so it's just a straight roll for
that's
you.
a dirty 20 to hit.
That will hit.
And that is 6 damage.
Yep, that is 3 times as much as you needed. As this creature, it's not very tough, but it's latched on tight. But you bash squash it between your mace and your shield, and it gives a squeak, and then you feel
squeak.
Yeah, you feel the blood stop, like actively getting sucked out of your neck. It's a really disconcerting feeling.
With a free object interaction, can I pick it out of my neck?
Yes. Yeah, you like wedge it between the shield and the mace, and you manage to wrench it free. And it's like swollen up a little, like a tick or a mosquito. It's like weird flesh colored, kind of hairy. It's really gross.
Okay, I will out of disgust step slightly away from it, also to be in front of M. And with my bonus action, I'm gonna say, Vias, Freya, we can't help me keep your house safe. And calling on my 2 patron deities, I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, exciting! Okay.
So
where would you like it to appear?
Right next to, right between those 2 beasties, please.
Okay, I'm gonna use this red circle.
Actually, no, yeah, I'll have it like to the southeast of the front beastie.
Here?
Yes, there. Yeah.
There. Okay.
And
all right.
as part of the casting, I make a spell attack. So, that is a nat 20.
Woo!
So, as I'm calling on, in fact, I'll probably be calling on Vareya more than Vias because we're, right next to her temple.
Yes.
And so
that's way too big.
You see, the spiritual weapon takes the form of, you see a kind of like a kind of crackling in the air as, and a kind of rippling of the ground as like you see things moving up and down, things getting lighter and darker, and out of a tear in reality comes these two hands, and they're gonna grip and twist in opposite directions and pull this thing apart.
And it does so easily. These spectral hands. Strangely, they're clearly magic, and you can't quite tell what color they should be, but some flickering between light and dark almost. Rip this thing in half. That one is also gone.
And I feel like as they flicker between light and dark, like one of them is always darker or lighter than the other. Like they're never the same color.
No.
Do we have to make a roll against seizures?
Are you epileptic?
No.
It's like that Pokemon episode that got banned.
Yeah. Well, you're more interested in the game.
Am I still too young for this? I'm too young for this. I've decided.
You're too young
that
for
is,
Pokemon.
You're 20.
I'm younger than Pokemon, Rachel. I'm younger than Pokemon, and I like to bring it up.
I think this happened while you were alive, but maybe before you were aware of it happening.
The first movie I ever saw was the Pokemon movie, like in cinema. It was great. I'm
gonna look that up now.
This brings us to Muck. Muck, there's one of these creatures left at the other end of the bridge.
Sword. I'm gonna hit it with my sword.
It is currently, you've only got 30 feet of movement, so it's not close enough, but you can move up towards it and then hold your action until it gets close to you.
Okay, yes, I will do that.
Alright, so go ahead and move yourself wherever it is you want to be.
I didn't count, I was just going for it.
1997, so this happened in, so you were probably a baby.
I was 1 or younger.
Yes, so I guess that's an excuse.
And I think
Thanks,
that also
Alex.
counts as a baby.
Yes.
So Muck is standing in
I
the
know
middle
it makes Sam annoyed, reminding him I'm younger than Pokemon.
So Muck is standing in the middle of the bridge next to a pair of giant glowing hands.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yeah. Muck, there's these strange glowing hands shifting in color. But more important to you, there's one of these weird bat mosquito flesh things in front of you. And it is coming towards you. It's going to move up into melee range with you, triggering your held action.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make your attack.
Okay. So that is 16 to hit.
That will hit.
Oh, I'm going to get ya. 12 damage.
And this one also, you cleave it straight in half. This side of the bridge, there's now 4 halves of these creatures. 2 of the halves are cut neatly, the other 2 are ripped apart, with guts and entrails just everywhere. The ground has stopped shaking, and as you catch your breath, Muck, you standing amongst the broken tiles from which these creatures emerged, keeping an eye out for anything else that might appear. The doors of the temple swing open.
Ooh.
You see, standing there, a tall, fairly well-built tiefling with purple skin. You first think bald, but then realize they have these braided purple hair, braided around their small curved horns. Their eyes pale white. Dressed in black priest's robes with a white shoulder cape, gold trim. And her unseeing eyes gaze out over this bridge. Land first on you, Muck. And then meet everyone's gaze one by one.
High Priestess Gaspera. Under my breath.
And on that note, we're going to take a break.
Yeah! Oh, that was so good.
We will return as our party meets High Priestess Gaspira. We'll be back here at past.
Yeah.
Take 9 minutes.
Mhm.
And see you all very shortly.
Bye.
And we're back, everyone. First break of the campaign, first battle of the campaign. Thank you so much, Hogan, for donating a bunch of subs. Just gonna bring that up. Also, I will give you your goblin. Please not during my intro monologue. Imagine a goblin somewhere is causing chaos somewhere in the realm. Was there something else I had to mention, Sam?
Just that I have an advantage roll at some point.
You have an advantage. There was a thing for us to remember, not for the audience to necessarily become aware of. That's fine. Those things are happening. We pick back up the party, having defeated the ghast and its surrounding creatures, as the High Priestess Gaspira has just stepped out from the great temple of Berea, Nimbo gasping in astonishment. My other page.
I sort of whisper
this
to
one.
Michaela, and it's like, he was starting to look cool for a minute there, and then he kind of ruined it.
Yeah, I mean the whole, I guess this is his thing, right? So let's hang on to this later. We'll get him later.
Yeah.
The small little creature, the one that I killed with the chromatic orb, can't. Whilst the priestess is introducing themselves, can I just cast prestidigitation on it to clean up the cold that it would have been hit with, and just leave it?
The one you killed is shattered into several pieces, so you can pick up the bits.
No. Very. This day's not going well so far.
Sorry, Sam, that's how I narrated it in the moment. Didn't think you would try to do this. The High Priestess is, as Blirta and Muck are poking fun at Nimbo, and you are grieving the loss of this what could have been a beautiful small creature for you to have. Motions first towards Nimbo, and then to the rest of you says, "Come inside, all of you. We have much to discuss."
I replace my eye patch and shrug and sort of follow in.
Yeah.
As you enter the temple, inside, you see the reflective light coming from the stained glass. You see the windows on either side of the temple as well now, showing on one side the phases of the moon with various nightscapes. On the other, the changing seasons. Here inside, low braziers, copper dishes burn in front of a very simple altar. Several sacrifices, including fruits and a decanter, set on top. Behind this, imposing, Nimbo, you have seen this before, but new to the others, stands a massive statue reaching towards the ceiling, 20, 25 feet up. It's a statue of a humanoid woman carved out of the same grey marble veined with gold that the temple is made out of. Her hair is braided back in a silver circlet, set with a black onyx, a white diamond, and a red ruby to represent the 3 moons. Fits around her head. Her clothing is very simple, carved of the same stone, and at her stone feet are several stone wolves reclining. The air here smells like faint incense with a scent of juniper and sweetgrass. And you see several acolytes dressed in these grey and black priest's robes. The High Priestess motions for them to leave as you enter, and they all file out of the temple. Priestess stops in front of the altar. Nimbo Thunderchild, Emerald Snowflake, Blirta von Mandragore, and Michaelan Prescott Smythe.
It's Muck. Just Muck.
It's M,
It is...
not Emerald.
very nice to meet you all. She does not seem to realize you interrupted her. I'm glad you came so quickly, and I'm grateful that you dealt with that intrusion outside. You seem capable.
Well, three of
The
us are anyway.
things I have to discuss with you. She turns around now. You see those pale, blind eyes sweeping over you, seeming to know where you are, even if she does not see. I have an assignment for you that is a bit out of the ordinary, a bit outside of what we would usually do for those of your age and skill. And it requires your knowledge of things which you will keep secret. What do you know of the Lost Isle?
And I make a history check to see how much I know of the
Absolutely. Anyone who would like to make a history check can do so now.
Something that I was
You can also make a religion check if you prefer.
Something that I was
Same.
literally gonna do, but I didn't want to interrupt your lovely narration. Is I was gonna take a big whiff of the incense smoke and cast guidance on myself.
Yes, absolutely. This
Cool.
is a place where Nimbo feels very close to his goddess, so that is absolutely
Cool.
sort of like an instinct for you entering this temple.
That's a 12 anyway.
All right, history for Blirta?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's the same either way, so.
I got a
It will
7
tell you
on the
different
history.
things. History 7 for Muck. M, were you rolling? You don't have to.
I got 17.
So, history or religion?
History.
History. Nimbo?
I know some stuff as
Yes.
just as Nimbo, and also
Yes.
I rolled 23 on a religion check.
Okay, yeah.
That's
That
so
makes
Nimbo.
a lot of sense.
Nerd.
Muck, you know, so this is like history, the basic history you would have been taught. There are 3 isles in the in Lake Palaine, which is the lake next to Lissold. You're on one of them, the Golden Isle. There is also the Sacred Isle, which is the smallest of the 3. Only the most holy people get to go there, as far as you know. The 3rd Isle is the Lost Isle, and unlike the other 2, you can see it from Lissold. It's not covered in the same golden trees. It's covered in dead and dying foliage, and the land is destroyed in a previous earthquake. You can't really remember where or when. Blirta, you remember from your reading of history texts, it was about 30 years ago. There was some, I mean, it used to be some kind of holy place. You can't remember what they did there. It's not really your interest. You recall that... Wait, what did you roll again? You rolled high, didn't you?
17.
Yeah, 17. You remember the Lost Isle used to be called the Prosperous Isle? It's a name you've seen written on old maps. And it used to be where the sick and dying would go to rest, recover, or pass on. Nimbo, you know the most about the Lost Isle because it has been part of your teaching. The loss of the Lost Isle after the earthquake 30 years ago, which was centered in that location, tore a big rift in the ground. And the Holy Orders abandoned it after all of the death and destruction that took place there. There were very, very few, if any, survivors. You've heard rumors that they've been considering returning there and rebuilding so that they could once again have a place to focus on healing. It used to be famous, not just within the country, but beyond as well. People would make pilgrimages there from neighboring kingdoms in order to seek the magic healing that it was known for.
And I don't know if this is hearsay or not, but there have been, talk of a couple of the, not the students obviously, but some of the more senior priests have went on an expedition to try and, maybe re-establish the Prosperous Isle, or at least see what's up.
Yes.
I haven't heard anything back from them though.
Oh yeah, that rings a bell. There's the island where normal people are allowed to go, the one where no normal people are allowed to go, and the island that I guess you just don't care about. Like, for someone who talks a lot about balance, this temple has a whole load of expensive stuff, and there's a pretty rundown place over the hills. So yeah, I guess that's what I know about the Lost Isle.
I always just find that the name of the Lost Isle to be quite on the nose. Previously known as the Prosperous Isle.
I mean,
Always seemed to me the wrong direction for that name, but
also we know where it is. It's not lost.
for once I agree with you.
Well, it's
She lets you speak and then turns to you, Nimbo. I believe we must do something about the rumor mill here, yes. The priests do like to gossip.
I just overheard it. I wasn't like part of the gossip. I just, apart from saying it just now.
It's okay. And I understand that the Lost Isle may mean less to you who are not so religiously inclined. It is true it was once prosperous, and it was a great place that allowed us to look after the sick and the dying, and to heal many, and to help others find comfort in their final days. 30 years ago, there was an earthquake similar to the one that struck the nation only this week. It centered on the Lost Isle, and there were no survivors. The land became corrupted from the death and the destruction, and we abandoned it because part of balance, young ones, is that nature must be given a chance to restore itself.
Bullshit.
What did I say about being respectful?
There were recent indications that the Isle was once again returning to its prosperity. And after much discussion with the Arcane Council and the Sovereign, I agreed to send 3 clerics there to investigate, to find what could be salvaged, and to set a plan for rebuilding. It is my regret that I did not know this other earthquake would occur. We were only able to recover one of the clerics, as once again the quake seems to have centered on the Isle. Cleric Robin Greykeep of the Temple of Soraya was relatively uninjured, but he has not spoken since we found him. I have sent him to the Citadel, where the chief healer of the realm, Hearn, currently resides, in the hope that Hearn will be able to heal Robin's wounds, for not all wounds are physical. But Hearn requires aid. Someone to fetch some rare ingredients in an attempt to lift whatever darkness has descended upon Cleric Robin. I would like you 4 to travel there and to assist.
Of course, Priestess. Do we know have you consulted with the goddess about what might be causing these tremors and these quakes? Surely some kind of tension within the earth, some kind of imbalance of force has caused the energy to be stored and then released in this sudden way.
I mean, judging from that friend outside, it's maybe clogged up with dead things. So that might do it.
That is an imbalance.
This is why we must speak with Cleric Robin. For he has been on the Isle and he may have seen what occurred before the quake occurred. This is why your task is a very important one for the sake of the whole realm.
So, the one thing I do not get here is, why are you sending, like, children to do this?
The priestess looks at you, Blirta, and then raises her head and looks at the statue behind her. Soft smile on her lips. Turns back to face you.
I don't think she's gonna answer your question.
She means the goddess.
Like,
Well,
I just roll my eye at that hearing. Like, was it like? I get like the whole cryptic thing. It's like like people of faith do love their mysteries, whatever.
Yeah, your holinesses sat on your hands, and now you've got a man down from inside your own institution. But you know what? If we could actually maybe do something about what went down in the Lost Isle eventually, then yeah, I think helping this guy seems like a good thing to do. I'm not doing it for you, kind of crazy lady. I'm doing it because it's right.
You're just insulting this 70-year-old woman that she's not doing enough.
Yeah.
70-year-old blind woman.
Yeah.
I mean, equal opportunities, you know, like
Hater.
hater, big hater.
The priestess seems somewhat entertained by your, like, clearly she's like not. She's getting some amusement out of the fact there's a bunch of teenagers standing in the temple arguing about why they should go do this.
And Nimbo is looking increasingly uncomfortable.
Yeah. You will not be doing this for me. This is true.
Oh shit,
Muck.
she can hear us.
Yes. You've been talking inside the temple. You're like 10 feet away from her.
It's
Yeah, but
echoing
she's just
throughout
like-
this big, like, empty stone room.
Richly decorated. She walks over to one of the sides where there's low benches set against the wall, and picks up a wooden box. Plain. I'm just making a box shape with my hands right now. Plain wooden box. I'm like, how do I describe a box?
About the
It's
size of a box?
About the size of a box.
A
yeah.
large box the size of a small
A
box.
small box.
Exactly, yes.
Made of
Big
pure
enough
gold.
for a blind 70-year-old woman to pick it up. And brings it towards you, lifting the lid as she gets closer. And inside you see 4 brooches. Copper circles with a diagonal slash cut out of the middle from one side to the other, with raised divots, circular divots either side of the slash. You recognize this, all of you, as the emblem of Solore, of the royal family. You will be working in the name of the sovereign. When you began your education, it was on the condition that you would work for the crown for some time after completing your studies. I realize it is early, but you are not the only ones who have been called to aid before officially graduating. Take these crests. They will indicate you as official relief workers and members of the Royal Crest Guard. Should you aid anyone you come across on your travels, any villages, show them this and they will give you the official documents you need in order to claim whatever financial reward you may get. You will be paid for your work. And this brings me to the second part of your assignment. A personal request. Something is affecting the barriers between the planes, which have been in place for more than 1,000 years. Things are leaking out into the prime material, things that should not be, things we know of only in lore. Strange things are happening everywhere, strange creatures appearing in towns. Am I back?
You never left.
Okay.
Oh, maybe
Alex glitched out for me, so yeah.
Yep, fair enough.
There we go. Strange things appearing in towns and villages and in the wilds. Strange phenomena which we cannot explain. Any information you can find in regards to the changes in these barriers are appreciated. You can bring them to me or Nimbo. You will know to bring them to Ruth or to Mist in the morning. They know to report back to me. I would also then ask you, because young as you are better equipped to deal with these sorts of things than most citizens. Provide aid to those you encounter if you can. If you cannot, inform someone else and see that it is dealt with. I trust you to do this.
As you wish. And as they wish.
You don't speak for us, but fine.
I think he was talking about this once again.
I'll
Yeah.
go.
But yeah, sure, let's go.
If it's for the sovereign.
Nimbo's gonna put his badge not on, but in a pocket.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, what is temporal authority?
All right.
Emma's going to place the brooch onto Yarrow.
How?
Septum piercing.
Yeah. However I can.
Well,
Duct tape.
Yarrow is an animal,
Mhm.
and a brooch has a pin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you pinning this thing to a live animal?
Yeah. They'll be fine.
I will remind you that your familiar has 1 hit point.
That would be cruel to get rid of it for the sake of a little pinprick.
How am I gonna roll
What
this?
is 1 hit point?
Mm.
If I was to stub my finger, is that 1 hit point?
If you were to take a mouse and get like a badge, and how would the mouse do?
I think
It
it's like
wouldn't enjoy it. This is my issue.
it's like
Yarrow's not gonna like this if you do it.
the 1 hit point isn't the badge pinning; it's the tetanus.
It's when you pull it out and it just starts like.
Yeah. I think my problem is if you were to try to stick a pin in a live animal, the live animal would resist it.
Well, we'll have a chat.
Although a familiar is
I'm going to
technically
figure
a
it out.
fate.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
a
just
little
get
thing.
like a little ribbon.
Yeah, or like a rag or something from
That's
your backpack.
less-
You could tie it to Yarrow with a piece of string if you wanted to. I'm gonna say you cannot pin.
No stabbing.
You could
No.
make Yarrow an adorable little shield.
Yarrow will
Yarrow does not have fingers.
Yarrow will just carry it then.
That is also fine. In his mouth. Her
Sure.
mouth? Their mouth?
Their mouth.
Their mouth. Cool. Okay, Yarrow is that. Blirta, Muck, you're taking your badges
I'm
as well.
gonna wear it as a sign of transparency.
I'm just gonna stick it in a pocket.
Fair enough. All right. The Muck and Yarrow have visible crests. Good to know.
This rodent has seniority here.
All right. As I believe, Nimbo, you took some damage during the fight, didn't you? The High Priestess reaches out and just pats your hand lightly, and you feel your wound in your neck begin to close up. You are restored to full hit points.
Ooh.
So, like, another question I would like to answer is like, are these like undead things going to be a recurring theme here? Like, has that happened before?
This is one of the leaks that I was talking about, yes. We've had similar reports from Brynwater and from the Slumber Hills already. There may be more.
Okay.
Rain water.
And was this thing like literally in the earth, or has it come through from another plane then?
Generally, these things are either summoned by mages or they come through from other planes. I feel I would have noticed if a mage had summoned an undead creature into my domain.
I mean, either that or we're being attacked by like stinky mole wizards or something.
I will ask High Arcanist Spriggs if stinky mole wizards are a threat.
If Brynwater's been under attack, have you heard from the commune?
No attack. No, nothing quite so serious. Just small incidents. Nothing to worry.
What about leaseholds? Is that getting a battering? Or are they alright?
Some strange things have been noticed, but nothing overly concerning. Nothing the Royal Guard can't handle.
I'm sure.
Can I see anything of value in this room on a table?
There is some fruit, and there is there's an earthenware carafe filled with, you assume, some kind of liquid. As you go to approach the altar, the priestess just reaches out a hand. I would not do that, young one.
I don't have much choice.
You always have choice. Now take these, and as you're standing next to her now, she reaches into a pouch in her belt and hands you 4 vials containing a shimmery red liquid.
Do
One
we
for
recognize
each of
these?
you.
What is this?
These are potions of healing.
Nice.
Right.
Just
One
standard.
for each of you. Standard healing potions, 2d4 plus 2. You can all add one to your inventory. Or M can take 4 if M's being a dick today. I don't know.
No, M is never a dick. Like, hand them out to the group.
Yeah.
Looks at Blirta and thinks,
Well, Sam, you do now have your hands on 4 things of value.
I just look at Sam and go, can I have that?
yeah, Muck, you shorten your name, I like it. And I'll hand you over
Cheers,
one.
mate. Cheers.
Nimbo, yeah.
Thank you.
Look at Blirta. Yeah, okay. Hand over.
I take it cautiously from the paws.
Just know that was a big thing I did.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I put it in my pouch.
I lean over to Muck and I'm like, I don't mean to be a dick, but are all arcane casters this volatile?
You know what? It's just been me and my sword for a long time. I have no idea. I don't hang out with these magic folk. I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, I respect the simplicity. Let's go.
The high priestess reaches her hands out again and flicks her wrists, and you see the acolytes who had filtered out earlier begin to come back only a few seconds later. Gods be with you, young ones. I shall hear from you soon.
Don't make it weird.
I love Muck.
I'll kind of after bowing to the high priestess, I'll probably bow to the statue, and go back out the temple, but like straight down the middle of the kind of. I think there's like a path kind of marked onto the floor with kind of some of the inlay. I go straight down the middle of that.
Okay. The rest of you follow?
I think I like turn. It's like catch you later. Do like a finger gun.
If I hang back, is there anything of value just kind of in the hall?
There is some fruit. There is
I'm gonna take fruit.
Same thing as you go to approach, the high priestess sticks her
she's
hand
still
out the
there.
other direction. She's standing right in front of the altar. There's like about 10 other people have now entered the temple as well and have like resumed their duties.
Sorry, I'm still putting my health potion in my bag.
As I hear this commotion, I turn over my shoulder and I go, guys, I know we've just met. Can we please not rob my god?
I mean,
yeah, I'm not robbing anyone. I just thought there was fruit.
There's plenty of fruit out there. Vias will provide.
I guess Vice has provided. That's why I just wanted some of the fruit.
No, this is Varaya's fruit. This was offered to Varaya. Vias, with the wisdom and the antlers and the nature and stuff.
So
he'll
what
provide.
is she going to do with this fruit?
The ways of the gods are inscrutable. Inscrutable.
How very convenient for them.
But they are edible.
Guys, you're gonna get me kicked out of school. Let's go.
You have essentially just been forcibly graduated, so like that's not gonna happen.
Do we have any fruit and vegetables for the road?
There's an orchard on the isle, near the temple of Vias. So
no, Temple of Addis. The Temple of
Addis.
Addis would have it because
Yeah,
that's the
Nimbo.
god of agriculture.
But like the Temple of Addis and the Temple of Vias are next to each other, and it's kind of in between because
You would
Vias being the god
also-
of nature.
You would also all, when you left and when you went and gathered your belongings, you all received like packs with like food for the road and things. So you would have like fruit on you, probably vegetables, probably like dried fruits and hardier vegetables like carrots and stuff that will last well on a trip. You don't have avocados on you.
Some
That's
very
silly.
ripe bananas.
But it's just
No. There
It's
were some on the altar, though. No, there weren't.
it's just a
The
load
altar
of
had-
lemons.
It's also early spring, so like, you know, there's like it's just starting to like be like fresh fruit and stuff again. All right. Do you make
But you know,
your way?
at the temple of a
Yes.
what's the god of harvest?
Addis.
At the temple of Addis, it's always harvest time.
Yeah. And Blirta, you are familiar, maybe a little bit familiar with the Temple of Addis. If you've ever been here, that's where you would have gone.
Okay. I feel like probably like maybe I did when I was very small and I was too annoying, and then my parents never brought me back.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. You all you know the vague direction towards the citadel. The citadel is a small town set high on the more paper on the Danric Plateau, which overlooks the valley. It is a small town, but it is dominated by this big castle-like structure, where you've heard rumors, all of you, from your times at school. This is where the worst prisoners are kept, Muck. This is where the most dangerous magic artifacts go, Blirta and Anne. This is where, it's a little bit less religious inclined, but this is where Idal has his home in the realm, Nimbo, the god of justice and criminals. There's all kinds of rumors that float about around about the citadel, but you know you have to go over the southern twin, the lower of the two bridges, cross the Andel Plain, up the Trammel Cliffs, and then further up onto the plateau to find it. Nimbo, you will be a little bit familiar with part of this journey at least, because you must cross the Andel Plain to get to Brynwater. As you set out from the Golden Isle, stopping at the orchards of Addis to gather some fresher fruits. No bananas. We've got some nice pears, some plums out of season, but the priests and priestesses here are able to bring any tree and bush to fruit at most times of the year. You make your way. Sorry, go for it.
I want to see if I can just get a load of like radishes, and I'm just going to try and
Yes.
sneak them into M's pack. So just the pack is just full of radishes.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to get some radishes. Especially several of the people here will know Nimbo at least by sight. But also Muck and Yarrow now carrying those crests. They realize you were here. You were setting out an official business, and you look so young to be doing so. So you get your hands stuffed full with as much fruit and vegetables as you can carry.
Yeah, as soon as I realized like that it's relevant to what we're doing, I kind of get the thing out and try and fumble it onto my chainmail, and then as soon as we're around the corner, I kind of
All right. You make your way off the Golden Isle onto the lower of the two bridges. Identical looking to the first.
Do I just
Sorry.
have radishes in my pack now? Like,
No, Blirta's gonna make some sleight of hand checks in a sec.
PvP.
Because we had a session
Session
0
1.
about this.
I'm not attacking. I'm just putting radishes in someone's pack. What's weird?
What was I saying? Bridge. We're getting onto this bridge, guys. Then we'll do radishes. This bridge is similar to the Northern Twin, except longer. The Northern Twin is already nearly 2 miles long. This is a big river. It's like the River Tay, if anyone's seen that. The bridge is relatively low to the water, only about 100 foot high. And this one, 3.5 miles long, carved out of the same thick gray marble, except not veined with gold. It's wide enough for 6 carts to pass side by side, and it's not that busy right now. It's getting to about just past midday. You see guards patrolling up and down at regular intervals, stopping to help anyone who might need help. Occasional turrets providing shelter. You also notice traveling vendors trudging up and down the bridge, selling food and drink to anyone who passes. Blirta, you're trying to smuggle radishes into M's pack.
Yep.
Can you make a sleight of hand check? M, can you make a perception check?
30.
Do Muck and I see this?
You can make perception checks if you want to.
I got 17.
M, you notice Blirta holding a small root vegetable, trying to hide it in your pack.
I will slap my paw at Blirta's hand. It's like, the people at school were right. You are a bitch.
What? I was merely trying to provide sustenance for your rodent.
I mean, I'll have them.
Just don't touch my pack, okay?
Guys, do we need to extend the please be respectful rule to all of us?
I think
No.
possibly. I think possibly, yes.
Why? We're doing this thing together. I am not going to do anything serious, but we're on a long, boring walk. I need to be entertained.
Well, as long as it's just radishes and not anything, gross or dangerous or anything, I guess, let's just, yeah. I guess let's try and make sure that we can keep each other safe at least.
Jeez, Nimbo, who put you in charge?
Oh no, I'm not in charge. I just
Cool.
You be
Just
acting
checking.
like you are a lot.
I mean, just while we're on the aisle, it just felt, appropriate to show you around and give you a bit of advice. When we're in the magic school with all the books and stuff, then you lot will know what to do. And when we're in the training yard with the dummies and the swords and sharp stuff, Muck will show us the ropes. But while we're in the temples, I don't know. I just thought I was good. I'm trying to help.
All right, Nimbo, keep your pants on. We get it, big guy. All right, can I get some of those radishes going around?
I toss some radishes. I don't think he ever takes his pants off.
Dakmar, there's been points redemption in the chat, so just worth having a little look. Oh, it's not for that. It's not for that. It's for the other thing.
Is it more goblins?
It's more goblins.
Okay. Well, it is at this point actually that I would like. Let's see who. I'm gonna roll a d4 to see which of you is gonna roll for this. Okay, that's gonna be Alex. Could you roll a d8 for me, please?
The D8. Do I have a D8 out? That is the one I hadn't got out. That's fine. 1.
A 1. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
That's either very good or very bad.
One of Dakmar's many random encounter tables.
Oh yeah.
boy.
Is this the table for
Uh,
the tables?
Yes, of course it is. No, this is my table for the bridge encounters.
Okay.
And this required me to roll 3d20s. I got
Wow.
2 19s and a 13. Someone do math for me.
Um,
Oh,
Yeah, 51.
51.
so we're fighting
You-
51 goblins.
Yes. The four of you arguing over radishes suddenly hear a not the coughing, that's me choking on my own
I
saliva.
think the noise filter took out everything except the cough.
Yeah.
We heard,
Oh.
you hear.
Which, okay, you know what? You hear, and you watch as a goblin is waving at you, trying to get you to move to the side, and you watch as 51 sheep come marching towards you, being led by another goblin near the back. The guards near you are looking at the sheep, looking at the goblins, looking back at the sheep, trying not to get trampled. The four of you are in the direct path of the sheep. What would you like to do?
I would like to speak to the sheep, please.
Okay. What would you like to say to the sheep?
So with my speech of beast and leaf, I would like to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's be respectful here.
Remind me how the speech of beast and leaf
Animals
works?
can understand me. I can't
Okay.
understand them.
You cannot understand them. Okay.
No, so I'm just kind of like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's be respectful here. Let's leave people some space. And I'm having to like bend down to kind of like
Yep.
scoop them away with my arm.
The goblins as well. The goblin is chattering at you. Do any of you speak goblin?
Oh yeah, let me check.
Not even close.
No, I do not. Do the
Okay,
goblins
you-
speak common?
This one doesn't seem to be speaking common at this moment. Chattering at you in a language you do not understand. And the sheep looks up at you, looks at the radishes that Muck and Blirta are holding, and goes straight for them. It's at this point that two of the guards rush out and go, What? What? Goblins? With sheep? Go get the boss. I don't know what to do with this. One of them starts running off in the other direction.
Calm emotions.
On which one?
I think it's an area of effect.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot sphere.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
right now that would catch all of you, the guards, the goblin, and like 7 of those sheep.
Cool. I was mainly going for the guards. I'll get as many entities as I can.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just say,
All right. What kind
Chill.
of saving?
chill.
What kind of saving throw is that?
Charisma saving throw.
Okay, I like everyone to make a charisma saving throw, please.
24.
And that is a DC 25. No, it's a DC 13.
11.
You're level 3.
13 is a
Ten.
DC.
The goblin got oh no, that's not a 1. The goblin failed. The
I failed.
guards. Okay, M failed. One of the guards, the guard who's running away, succeeded. The other one suddenly goes from panicking to, or I mean, maybe we don't need to. Wow, we probably don't need to bother the boss. The goblin is like still talking, but like a lot calmer now, and is petting one of the sheep. M,
As
you
the
feel this sense of relief wash over you.
finally just able to relax for a moment, but as watching the other guard continue to run, I am just gonna use my chrono shift to get them to roll again.
Yeah.
That's a natural 1. The
Nice.
other guards
Away we go.
was running away, and now area of effect. This guard was running, so does it end when they leave the sphere?
Let me have a look. Each humanoid within the sphere makes a saving throw. And no, the creature is affected.
Yes,
And
and
it
then it
lasts-
can leave the area. And how long does it last? 10 minutes?
Concentration 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. The guard stops running. It's like, oh. Well, I mean, we should tell the boss because it's a lot of sheep. But well, there's no rush.
Also,
Just,
the specific wording of the spell means I can make him completely, or them, completely indifferent. I can make them, yeah, just
Okay.
not give a
Are you
shit.
making everyone? I'm gonna say that will apply to everyone then. That everyone
Okay.
becomes completely indifferent because you're catching everyone at the same spell effect.
No, I'll just make him chill.
Okay. Yeah, he slows down. He's like ambling slowly now instead of rushing. You can see the closest turrets, which he might be heading towards to go find someone more superior, is like a few 100 feet away still. So it'll take him, it'll take him a while to get there.
How deep is this flock of sheep?
There are 51 sheep. They have now all come to a halt because the goblin at the front has stopped.
Yeah.
The sheep. I'm not rolling charisma saving throws for sheep. Do I roll charisma saving throws for sheep?
Well, they're not
The
humanoid
sheep-
anyway.
No, this is true. The sheep have stopped. Muck, you have dropped the radishes that you were holding,
Yeah.
and the sheep are now eating some of the radishes around you. They're very soft.
Wait, those were
They're
my
like-
I'm stroking the
radishes.
sheep.
Those
They're
were-
really fluffy right now. Blirta, you and Nimbo, the only two unaffected by this spell, are just watching. The goblin at the back is like, "Eat me! Eat me!" Wondering why everyone's come to a halt. The sheep are just chilling.
Say how deep is the flock? Like to go to the back of the flock, how far is it?
There's like probably 5 sheep in your way right now.
Oh, so like
It's
They've
it's
spread out
wide.
across the bridge. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
wide bridge, and they're like grouping around you because you had radishes.
Yeah.
And Blirta, you have all the radishes, so they're
in that
like
case, what
trying
I'm
to
going to
get
do
closer to you.
is I'm just gonna enjoy, sheepy friends, and I'm gonna bring up all the radishes into the air, and then I'm going to use phase step to teleport behind the flock. So it's not my
Okay.
problem anymore. And I'm just
Yeah,
gonna sort of lounge on the side, watching, see what happens out of entertainment.
As-
the goblin at the back turns to you and goes,
I'm
You-
feeling really chill, so I'm just sitting in the crowd of sheep. I'm also eating the radishes. I'm just loving life. I'm really comfy.
I'm gonna head up to where Muck is at this point and just join in eating the radishes. Like sitting down in this fluffy cloud.
Nimbo, the guard who is standing like sort of near you, it's like you, the goblin, and the guard are like in a little triangle while Muck and Em are sit on the floor next to you. The guard's like, I mean, we don't normally let goblins into town, but we could probably use them. I mean, if they're just here to sell sheep.
I mean, they seem to be chill. Do you know anyone who speaks Goblin? And I turn to the goblins, like, do you speak Common? And then I rattle through the 4 languages that I speak: Common, Elvish, Giant, Primordial. Just being like, and they all sound completely different from each other. Especially Primordial. Primordial sounds really weird.
Yeah. You get to Giant, and the goblin, like, if it wasn't under the calm emotion spell still, it would have started to panic, and you see a brief flash of fear at, like, big thing might crush me. And then it calms down again.
But I'm being
And it
very,
just
very
goes,
like reassuring, and I put, a hand gently on a big hand on the small of the back. Not small of the back, sorry, between the shoulder
Ooh.
blades. Sorry, not like that. No, between the shoulder blades, the top of the back.
Roll to seduce the goblin.
Just over the tramps now.
But like between the shoulder blades of the guard and of the goblin, and I'm just kind of like I'm kind
Okay.
of guide. Yeah, it's kind
This
of
is a
like
really awkward position for you because
Well, yeah,
you're
'cause
so tall. It's
one
a
arm
very
is at-
little goblin.
that. One arm is
The
at 5
guard's got
o'clock and
plate
one arm is at 8
armor on.
o'clock.
It's hard to tell where the shoulder blades are and the guard.
It doesn't need to be
exactly.
exact. I'm just trying to
um,
like gently guide them.
Yeah.
Being like, why don't we just continue this conversation away from the bridge. We can just,
Where are you trying to lead them?
Wait, so where were they going? Where were they going?
You're halfway across a 3.5 mile long bridge. So away from the bridge right now is
okay, sorry, I didn't clock that you were halfway across.
Sorry, I thought for a sec you were trying to lead them off the edge.
No. I'm just trying to
Get
maybe
them off to the
corral
side,
them
yeah.
to the side, and so that we can,
Mhm.
maybe start getting the sheep to maybe follow that way, just so that it's not so chaotic.
You start leading them to the side that most of the sheep are closest to try to at least create a gap that there's not really anyone else around you at the moment, but just so people will be able to pass. You see there's one of the traveling vendors is put his bag down and is watching all of this happening, eating an apple, what the fuck is going on here? As you're leading the guard and the goblin off to the side, your spell wears off. And the sheep continue chewing. Muck, you come back to your normal emotions, whatever those were, but find yourself sat on the ground eating radishes, surrounded by sheep.
I vomit.
One of the sheep begins eating your vomit.
Muck, I've been trying to be a vegetarian. It's going. I'm trying.
What are you supposed to eat though? Because that didn't look so good.
I'm trying a little bit of everything across the fruit and vegetable world.
Next time, don't try that so close to me. I'm sure someone else can give you a little pat on the back, but I'm not good with vomit and stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not especially bad at it, but ew.
I'll try my best in the future not to do that again.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I will just press the digitation it away from the sheep that's eating it.
Brilliant.
The sheep's trying to eat where the vomit was for a second, and then moves back to trying to shove one of the other sheep away from the radishes. Radishes are almost gone at this point.
Also, that vomit must have been lumpy as hell, because
it was mostly just radish. No.
Yeah, cats don't have
all
bowls,
in
so
the
they
front.
can't really chew it.
I mean, it's sliced at best.
Yeah, diced radish.
Nimbo, go ahead and take a d6 of inspiration for science fact. Remind me if anyone else has done science facts. I don't think anyone has.
Nope.
That's fine.
It always comes back to brassicas.
Fucking brassicas, worst. Nimbo, I don't think radishes aren't brassicas, are they?
Yep.
Are they?
There's lots of
brassicas.
brassicas that you don't think are brassicas.
I mean, everything's a fucking brassica.
If you really look,
we're all actually brassicas.
The real
DM
brassica was
or
inside us all
brassica?
along.
Yeah.
All my dice are made of brassicas. No, I wouldn't be able to take them across the border. Nimbo, the guard, despite the fact that the calm emotion spell has worn off, the guard in the distance has started running again. The one that is next to you seems to still be a bit more composed. It's huh. Yeah, okay, freaking out's probably not the best thing to do. Goblin started squeaking at you again, trying to now mine something.
Can I get out a piece of parchment and a bit of charcoal and just kind of hand them to the goblin? Be like, I get the charcoal and I draw a goblin on the parchment and I draw a question mark.
Spits out the charcoal that it just bit.
I point at the sheep and I point at the goblin and I point where, and
the goblin just points at the city behind you.
I look at the guard and I say, I mean, looks like they're just taking it to market. What's all the fuss?
Well, we don't normally let goblins in because they tend to steal everything that's not nailed down.
That seems slightly
Ooh.
judgmental, I have to say.
Yeah.
Kids.
I walk over to the guards. I got my big old sword, and I'm like, "Look, buddy."
Are you trying to intimidate him?
Oh
Are
yeah,
you trying to? Okay, go ahead and roll an intimidation check. The guard is like probably in his late 40s. Got like a big scar across one cheek.
Boomer
He's got a
cop.
similarly sized. He's a boomer cop. He's got like
I
a
got
decently sized
7.
blade himself.
Does he have a handlebar mustache?
He does now. No, he does. He's got sideburns.
Oh, no.
To try to cover up the scar, but like it's not growing where the scar is, so it's making it a bit like patchy on one side. You rolled a 7?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, kids.
I wanted to roll higher. This is the thing. You roll the dice, and it's not always the number that you want. I just want you to remember that.
But if you have you tried glaring at the dice? If you really give it like a real mad dog eyes,
It's
sometimes...
just all digital these days. I just can't get through.
I have to say, the dice that I bought for everyone for Search for the Mirror roll really well for me, so it might be worth switching.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my flaming heteros die rolls pretty nice.
Yeah. The guard looks at the 4 of you now, or well, Blirta, you're so away. The 3 of you sees the crest that Muck has on her armor. Sees the crest that Yarrow is still like holding on to. Right, kids. I'm guessing you just got your first assignment. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah. Oh, my bad, John.
Look, you go do whatever you've been told to do. That's your job. I'm gonna do my job, which involves not allowing just any goblin into the city. We gotta follow the protocols, all right? My boss will handle it. Sheep have kind of moved aside now. You can carry on in your journey, and I'll deal with this. We'll get a translator, all right?
Okay, who do you?
Okay,
Sorry.
can I slip? So there's another goblin. at the back.
Alex, no, you are the furthest away right now, so we're first going to deal with what's happening with the
Okay,
guard.
that's
And
fine.
what were you saying?
I was gonna lift up Yarrow and just like say like, would you say no to this? As like you see like the small little rodent looking really sad holding out the crest.
Yes,
I
would.
used thaumaturgy to make the sound of a tiny violin.
The guard has gone from looking grateful to you, Nimbo, for like helping to calm everyone down to looking really exasperated. Glances back to see if his boss has shown up yet.
Okay, and I
what
just
time's
go.
my shift over?
Hey, buddy. Who'd you work for? I get real close to him. I'm just saying it in his ear. Who'd you work for, buddy?
The sovereign?
Oh, right, okay. Oh wait, he works for the sovereign. Oh, I can't do
Yes.
Cool.
Were you gonna try and do you know who my father is?
I need to get those sheep into the city.
This guy is like in the city guard.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is that in my inventory from my origin, I have the signet ring of an imaginary duke.
Okay.
So I am just going to give this ring to the goblin at the back.
Okay.
And just be like, and I'm just gonna like gesture in a way to like show it to that guard at the front and just be like,
okay.
Oh, it looks like it's all okay. Why is it? It looks like it's all okay. They have a ducal seal. They have a permit to be here.
The goblin immediately tries to bite the ring. And then calls over something to the other goblin. The other goblin calls back excitedly. And they start trying to corral the sheep again. Not bringing the ring to the guard, but definitely excited about something.
Case closed.
I don't speak goblin.
No. This was a 50-50 chance these goblins would speak common, and they did not.
Do they speak orc?
You can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, guys, just run really fast, and you can make it through.
Give you a weird look.
I'm like, eh?
Go back to the sheep. The one that you handed the ring now hands it off to the other one. The other one bites it.
Okay. No orc.
They're excited about the ring. You see now the guard who ran away is now returning with a second individual. The guard who with the sideburns is now starting to help corral the sheep off to one side as a cart is approaching from the other side of the bridge, trying to make space for essentially not enough sheep spread out literally everywhere.
As the other guard and the boss start to return, I'm gonna cast guidance on Muck. I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder and say, let's try diplomacy. Yeah, we can do this. You got this. Boom, boom.
Okay, so I'll go talk to the manager then, I guess.
I'm gonna have my badge on, and I'll kind of like, follow Muck, and I'll look like a good boy.
Okay, you do. Muck looks like she might be trouble.
Roll a good boy
Yeah.
check.
Good boy, Jack.
Oh, I have
Okay.
+10 to
Okay,
good boy.
what is it you're trying to achieve here with the captain of the guard who's shown up?
It's a good question, really.
I mean,
We're trying to get the goblins and the sheep into the city, right?
Yeah, I was hoping to. Yeah, we could get the goblins in. To get
Okay.
past the racist door policy.
Yeah. So that's why I'm gonna walk up to the manager and be like, yeah, okay, there's currently a bit of stoppage on the bridge. We tried to handle the situation, just get things moving again, but unfortunately, this card's just been really disruptive. What am I doing? Am I just lying?
Go ahead and make a deception check.
Why am I lying? Oh no!
I don't know why you're letting the
-1.
lowest charisma character do this. But
No.
Oh God, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Muck had a charisma of -1. Jeez.
Yeah, it's really bad.
You do have guidance, so you can add a d4 to your roll.
Oh fuck. Okay. 7. Oh no, it's a 7. I thought it was a 1. Okay, so 6 plus 10 plus 4 is 10.
You can add a d4, not a 4.
Oh.
You have to roll for it.
But she's gonna roll a 4, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got the strangest feeling that DC for this might be higher than 10.
It's a 1. That's a 1.
So that's a 7. Okay. It cancels out the -1. The captain of the guard is a woman of about the same age as the guard you've been talking to.
Oh, no.
She looks really tired. Like she hasn't really slept very much recently.
Mhm.
Possibly due to this whole earthquake thing going on.
Mm.
Right, okay. First of all, don't slander my men. I don't appreciate it. I don't really care who you are, but that's You've just set out, haven't you? The four of you.
No.
You're
Yeah.
really gonna keep lying? That's what I thought.
Well,
Look,
I mean, we were told, by the high priestess of Valea that we were meant to help everyone we encountered, and these goblins are trying to take their sheep to market. It seems like the right thing to do.
all right.
Yeah.
And it makes life easier on you.
All right, kids. I realize you're trying to do the right thing. I appreciate you're trying to help. There are rules, not just for goblins, but also for bringing in 51 sheep to the capital in the middle of the day.
Well, maybe there shouldn't be.
Rules are there to
Especially
be
the
broken,
goblins
right?
bit. Yeah.
You let me handle this. You go and do what you've been set out to do. My guards can handle things on this bridge, all right? And I can handle some sheep and some goblins. And she turns away from you, and in Goblin speaks to the two who are still they've like corralled the sheep now. They're like one of them still looking at the ring. They're like trying to polish it at this point. They have a brief interaction with the captain of the guard, who then turns back and says to the guard who had gone to fetch her, "All right, Mitch, just escort them to the gates and just make him wait to bring the sheep in until market's quieted down a little. We don't need this many sheep rampaging."
Guys, we just
salutes.
completed our first mission.
Yeah.
Job done.
Go team, go team.
Starts guiding the goblins and the sheep past you. The sheep are sheep, sort of haphazardly, slowly following the two goblins, trying to get them to move along.
As they're leaving, I just say to the sheep, bye. Try to be respectful.
I'm just flexing. I'm like, yeah.
As the guards head back in to say to the women that it's probably worthwhile that your staff perhaps go on a training course. Learn not to judge. It was uncomfortable for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Good luck, kids. Turns around and starts to leave.
Already regretting this. Wandering over the ridge.
Like, we have to save the world. We kind of solved a sheep problem.
Saving the
Kind
world,
of.
51 sheep at a time.
Yes.
You carry on further down the bridge. Radishes gone, mostly eaten by sheep, some by Muck and M. You make it. You're about 3/4 of the way down the bridge when you notice a couple of flocks of birds harassing some of the salesmen that are wandering past. There's a guy carrying loaves of bread, and these birds just keep pecking at the bread, pecking at the guy. He drops the loaves and starts like trying to shield his head, running away. Are you all walking like, you can all walk side by side, or are you walking sort of staggered? Who's near the front?
I think I'd probably be further ahead at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be near the front.
Okay, yeah. M and Muck, you are then closest. And you, Muck, you notice this first. As you get closer, you've not seen birds like this before. There's something really odd about them.
And they're attacking this guy with his bread, are they?
So the bread's now fallen on the ground. They've now swarmed around the bread instead.
Ooh, okay. What am I gonna do? Can I do another history check to see if I've read about them?
This would not be a history check. This would be either nature or arcana.
Okie dokie. In which
At this point,
case,
you're
I
also
don't-
getting closer, and you know small birds. These aren't.
Oh, okay.
They look
These
like sparrows, but
Hmm.
not quite.
are...
Muck.
Okay. I think I'm
Old World
gonna.
or New World sparrows.
But they're going for the bread.
They're currently going for the bread. Yes.
I'm gonna get a piece of bread, hold it out, get a bird in hand, better than two in the bush, and show it to Nimbo and be like, "Have you seen these before?"
Have I?
Go ahead and make an animal handling check first.
Oh, but the bread. Can I have advantage because of the bread?
Can I give her the help action?
You'll get if Nimbo's helping, absolutely. And you've now also noticed there's something off about these birds. Was there anything you wanted to do?
In what sense do I notice there's something off?
There's just something. They're moving quite quickly, but it seems like there's something not very just visually. You can make a perception check if you wanted to.
That's an 11.
Same as your passive. So they're moving too fast for you to really get a read. It's not setting off any like bad vibes.
The first animal handling check was a nat 1 + 1, and the second one was 10 + 1, which is 11.
Okay.
Bread advantage.
You are holding out some breads, but the birds seem distracted by the bread that's on the ground. They're not really, they haven't noticed you yet, as there's just so much food in front of them right now.
Okay, I'll just take up the loaf. Is that allowed?
The loaf that's on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, as you get close enough to pick up a loaf of bread, this swarm of birds suddenly turns on you and starts swarming around you instead. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Can we try to be respectful, please? I yell at the birds. In bird.
No battle map for this one, so you're not going to need the above VTT.
I rolled another 1, nat 1. +1 is 2.
18.
Okay, hold on. No yelling numbers at me, please.
Hmm.
Yelling numbers make Daphne angry.
Instantly wanting to yell just a string of random digits.
I will give you disadvantage. Anyone get above a 50?
I got 15.
18.
20.
Okay, and then you got a 1.
Well, actually, it was 2 because it's +1.
Okay. 20 for M, 18 for Blirta. Okay, M, you are up first as these birds start to swarm around Muck. These tiny talons lashing out, and this is when you notice these aren't actually. They've got the face and the wings of a sparrow, and they're the right color, but they've got these pointy little ears. And although they seem to have normal-ish back legs, they've got front legs. They've got claws. They're a little bit furry.
Oh.
And these tiny claws are starting to lash out at Muck.
I'm just trying to picture this thing in my head now, like it's a sparrow with ears.
Yes.
With front legs and fur.
I'm picturing like
And a
like
beak.
a little,
Like a
Little-
tiny griffin.
yeah, little rat griffin.
Like
probably.
a micro griffin, you might call it. Sure.
Ooh.
And
A teacup griffin.
is this one? Is this one entity that we're attacking? Right?
It's a swarm. Yeah, it's one entity.
The
Those things, they're very brachiocephalic. It's like,
the the loaf of bread.
They've still got
you've picked
beaks.
You've picked up the loaf of bread.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
see if there's.
Muck's going for the loaf of bread.
Yeah. I have a random book in my bag, which I am gonna use to cast catapult, because it's heavy enough.
Okay, yep.
We've also been given 2,500 points for us to all start dancing now. So we all need to dance on camera whilst we're waiting for this. Thanks, Hogan. I don't regret putting that one in there at all.
I hate you so much.
So it's
How long do we have to dance?
it's a deck save that I need from them.
Deck save from the griffins.
Yep.
Micro griffins.
Oh, we still dancing?
Apparently, I don't
know.
when to stop.
I don't know. Sam makes these rules.
I don't know how long. We've done it now. We can stop.
Okay,
Okay.
we've danced. 8 on their deck save, so that's a failure.
8 fails, so we'll watch this
Yep.
heavy book just slam through the air towards my new friend Muck and hitting these micro griffins for 3d8
Yep.
damage, which is going to be 14 points of damage.
What kind of damage?
That is bludgeoning, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, bludgeoning.
Yeah, because the swarm, you definitely hit some of these micro griffins, and they you swat them out of the air, down onto the bridge. But there's a bunch of others darted out of the way. Didn't do quite as much damage as you would have hoped. Anything else you want to do?
I'm gonna get up closer to them.
Yep. Yeah, they're currently sort of in Muck space. You managed to aim the book so it didn't hit Muck, but they're swarming all around her head.
Okay, I'm just gonna stay
Right.
close in.
Cool.
Thank you.
Blirta, we come to you.
Okay, so are they interested in the bread at all at this point?
At this point, they are interested in the thing that's trying to steal their bread.
Okay, so I am going to cast Unseen Servant,
Okay.
and I'm going to have it grab the bread and then floop over the side of the bridge and start scooting away with the bread. And
The unseen servant is going to throw himself off a 100-foot bridge.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It'll vanish before it hits the bottom. So
Is unseen servant an action casting?
yeah.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Sure. You create this unseen servant.
I sort
Muck
of go.
Muck
go
is
past
holding
them.
the bread.
Oh, I thought that was different bread.
And there's
I was talking about the floor bread that they were angry about. Or have I got wires crossed here?
I think
How much
no,
bread
Muck,
is that?
Muck
picked that bread up.
has
Yeah.
picked up the bread that they were swarming about. Yeah.
Okay, ignore that all then. That's
Okay. Yes.
There's still
In
just
that
an unseen
case-
servant just flying off the bridge, regardless.
Picking up the bread that Muck is holding. An unseen force starts dragging the bread away from you.
okay. In that case, what I will do instead is prestidigitation, and I can make a small harmless sensory effect. And these are tiny idiot birds, so I'm just gonna make basically a sparkler go off in their face.
Okay.
Cool.
Are you trying to frighten them?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Okie dokie.
I'll give you a +2 because of the effect, because of the thaumaturgy
Okay.
effect.
So that was not a great roll, but I have decent intimidation, so that's that. And I'm going to use another ability I have, if I'm allowed to use it.
Which ability is this?
I am double checking what it's called.
Okay.
So would a 12 fail first of all?
A 12. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
pretty
So
focused
I'm going
on
to
the
use
bread.
Pact of the Talisman, which basically lets me add an extra D4 to the roll.
Okay.
So my eye just sort of glows for a second. So that takes it to a 13.
No, I'm afraid your eye glows faintly as the sparkles increase. But the swarm, some of them dart away from the sparkles, but then swarm around to the back of Muck and just keep trying to claw at her as she's stealing their sustenance.
In that case, I'm just like, just throw it over the bridge.
That brings us to Nimbo.
Have I heard of microgriffins before? Are they like native to this plane of existence?
Go ahead and make a nature or an arcana check.
Nature or arcana? Okay, cool. It's a dirty 20.
On nature?
Yes, nature.
I assume, yeah. You've heard of griffins? You've read about griffins. You know there's definitely griffins in the Briskwold Mountains, even if you've never seen them. And you've heard rumors of griffins nesting in the cliffs. Micro griffins? I mean, now that you're looking at them, they definitely look like just tiny versions of griffins. But you feel like this is the kind of thing that would have been brought up at some point, and you've never heard of these.
Arcane.
You know they're not baby griffins.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that much.
Are we? I don't want to hurt them. So what I'll do is I will hold an action for. I'll hold an action for thaumaturgy to make a big old thunder noise, like a massive booming roll of thunder.
Okay.
But I'll hold it and I'll say, Muck, maybe chuck the bread. And if she throws the bread, then I will. Well, whether or not she throws the bread, on her turn, I will. At the end of her turn, I'll make a big kind of booming, thunderous noise to scare these.
All right. Cool. That brings us then to the Griffin's turn. The Griffins are clawing at Muck. They're gonna try to make an attack to try to get through your armor.
Oh, sorry, I forgot my bonus action.
Oh, go for it.
Bonus action, Shield of Faith. On Muck.
On Muck. Okay, Muck, you get a +2
to
AC.
You feel like a rippling of kind of currents of air around your body as the power of nature's energy protects you.
Feels good.
All right. The Micro Griffins roll a 16 to hit, which now misses thanks to the Shield of Faith. As you can feel them starting to like get at your face and like through your like little kinks in your armor when this sort of like shimmering field blocks their strikes, and they can't quite get through. They're trying to get at you. They're trying to get at this bread. That is their turn. What would you like to do? It is now your turn.
I was gonna be like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then kind of back.
Are you turning it off the bridge, or you're quite close to the edge?
In the water, yeah.
All right. You chuck this loaf of bread. Anything else you want to do?
Is that like an action, or is that an object?
Bonus. No, that's a free action.
Okay, then they're all as one, right? I'm just gonna hit them with my sword.
Okay, yep, go for it. Go ahead and roll to attack.
Yeah. 15 to hit.
That will hit.
Yay!
This is gonna be.
Oh, yep. 9 slash.
Okay, yeah. So same thing that happened when M's book flew past your head. You managed to get a couple of them, but you could have had like 4, and 2 of them have just darted out to the side. You don't quite manage to get all of them. That brings us back up to M's turn.
Oh well, that activates.
And that triggers the thaumaturgy. I'm gonna make a Constitution saving throw for these birds.
Clapping like a troll's booty.
I feel like they should get advantage just because you said that. The thunderclap, unlike the sparkler, seems to startle them briefly, that they sort of swarm away from Muck for a moment. Muck, you're suddenly, like, your vision was starting to get obscured by just tiny bird claws, like, trying to get at your face. And they move not out of reach, but further back. They leave your space at least. As they're looking for the source of the noise. The ones that were near the sparkler are confused. Like, was this part of the sparkler thing? Where did the bread go? They seem disorientated for a moment. We come back to M.
Can I get close to them now? Can I like move up into
Yep.
the space?
Yep.
I am gonna in one paw take out my dagger, and in the other paw unsheath my claws. And I'm gonna take one swipe with the dagger and one swipe with my claws for 2 weapons.
Okay. All right. Whichever strike is the second, you do not get to add your proficiency to it because it's an offhand attack.
For the dagger, I just got a natural 20.
Okay. Go ahead and roll double damage for that one.
So that is max damage, so that is 8. So 16.
Okay. Reduced to. Reduce back to 8 because they have resistance.
Okay. The
As-
second roll is an 11.
11 is just misses, I'm afraid. But you spear through several of these birds, slashing up wings and like bits of leg, and several of them go tumbling down to the ground. This swarm is significantly reduced in size at this point. There's only a few birds left that are a little bit confused, a little bit afraid, a little bit angry.
Talk about a cat among the griffins. Sorry,
that-
I'll
on that
go.
note-
I'll go.
I want that as art. Cat amongst the griffins now. Just like lots of little griffins with M in the middle.
Add it to the table.
I'll send you the art that I have for this homebrew microgriffin because I did not come up with this. Shout out to Basalt D&D for making the microgriffins. Blirta, your turn.
Seeing that we've basically at this point resorted to murdering the microgriffins, I'm just going to take off my eye patch and take a blast.
Okay, go for it.
Does a 22 hit?
Yes, it does.
So just like, and that's pretty high damage. So 13 points of.
Yeah, the
Awesome.
last of these. I'm not sure how this works because the birds aren't perfectly lined up, but essentially you blast the first one, and with the knockback that your Eldritch Blast gives, knocks it into the other birds, and they all go tumbling into the barrier or the banister of the
Just like
the
snookered
bridge,
shot them.
and they get like splat across the side of the bridge. The bread has been tossed off the bridge. There's a bunch of tiny microgriffin bodies all around you. You can take a closer look at them now if you want to, or you can gather some if you like, which I assume is what you're gonna try to do. There's like probably 20 of them in total.
I feel like there might have been a less destructive way for us to do this, but you know,
I mean,
Yeah.
we tried.
it's a group decision. Yeah, true. We tried.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
was
the
kind of caught up in the middle of the whole bird thing, but it sounded like you guys started blasting, so I came out fighting.
I'm just happy that I finally got something.
I've never
Right.
seen a griffin this small though.
Can I
no.
make-
You've never seen a griffin.
I've never heard of a griffin this small.
Oh, what? This small?
Can I make an Arcana check on them to see if they?
Sure.
Gonna add my other D4 of the rest.
Mhm.
11.
11. So taking your Arcana check, you're saying, taking a close look at them, you can't detect anything like specifically magical about them. It's not like they were created through magic. There's something off about them, but you can't quite figure out what it is. Other than the fact that this is a creature which you're pretty sure doesn't exist.
I would like to take one of them and take it into
Yep.
the middle of this bridge. I'm just
Yep.
gonna take like one claw out and just like score down the middle of its belly to take out the intestines, and just leave them sat at the side of the body.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna leave it there for everyone to see. but not before taking a big sniff to see if I can detect Fey Fiend or Undead.
You get the faintest hint of something other, and it's weird because you're taking a sniff, but it's like you hear faint bells twinkling. And you think, they're not, the creatures themselves aren't Fey, but they seem like they might have originated from the plane of the Fey.
Also, hearing the bells, feeling hungry. That'll do then, and I will just leave it directly, like where everyone can see it, in the middle of the.
Yep, and you do, and you hear as you do this, you hear a purring from the ether, and feel something brush briefly against your leg.
Can I just do a backflip out of shock? Can I roll aesthetic?
Yes, absolutely. Backflip would be more acrobatics.
Oh, thank God, because I did not roll very well. 10.
You try to do a backflip and you slip on some of the microgriffin guts, and you manage to catch yourself. You don't fall flat. You really hope no one saw that.
Cool.
So did we all hear the purring, or did it just M?
No, it was just M. Just M.
Oh, then why did I do a backflip?
I don't know.
You know, it's a celebration animation.
Maybe Muck just likes to do backflips when she fights tiny birds. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Has M shared the knowledge gained from the sniff, or not yet?
No.
Okay. Well, I tried a nature check earlier. Now that they're not moving, and attacking, can I try either another nature check, or could I, being a priest of the nature god,
Yes.
try, consulting my deity and do kind of, or at least my I've spent a long time studying and kind of communing with nature.
Yep.
So would that aspect of my spirituality be applicable to understanding where these things might come from?
Go ahead and make a religion check to see if you get anything from Bias about these creatures.
Ooh. I'm rolling hot. That was a 21.
Nice.
Woo!
So the
Gods love me.
the clap of thunder which you created earlier is briefly, and this is strange because it's been like a minute or so, and there's no, it's a bit overcast, but there's no thunderclouds anywhere near. And you hear another faint rumble of thunder. And you get, Nimbo, the faint sense of amusement. Like someone was just, this was a good creation. These were fun.
So it seems like these, they were kind of harmless, but yeah, I don't sense any malice here. I mean, are you okay? Did anyone hurt? I look over at the.
Go on. No.
I was gonna look over at the bread seller and see if they're okay.
The bread seller just bolted. Didn't look back, was like, I'm not dealing with these birds, they can have this loaf. You can see him still, he's a while back, he's selling some bread to someone else who's on the bridge now.
Oh, on that hustle.
Can he just be our campaign's cabbage merchant and just my bread?
He may have to be, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
Muck,
I was just going to
interrupted.
say, they weren't that harmless, so I'm fixing my hair and stuff. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, are you hurt at all? I could, I do have some magic in that area.
I'm actually not hurt, but I guess I'm a bit
more hurt
frazzled.
feelings.
Uh, and I just turn away.
I mean, can we just all agree that that was kind of weird? And I get the impression none of you guys have ever seen this either.
Nope. Yeah,
No,
agree.
it was weird, but like I said, you know,
If
do
you bring
get-
up gods into this,
I get an intuition that they're not evil. They're just, you know, they're just little guys.
yes, and if they were not attacking our friend, I would have let them be little guys. But
Too bad I used all my level 2 spell slots. Otherwise, I could have just blown them away with a gust of wind.
You could have used a level 2 spell slot. I have rules for that.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
I didn't know you were out, but I'll try to remind you in combat
Sure.
from now on. Yeah. Okay. You had initial travel to the isle, then there was this ghast, and then there was the priestess, and then you stopped the orchard, and then there was sheep and goblins, and now microgriffins, and it's starting to get on a bit in the day as you get to the end of the bridge. You see the Andal Plain stretched out before you, with occasional copses and small woods dotted around the place. It's relatively easy to find a path that will lead you first to the cliffs and the town of Siron before leading further up to the citadel. You follow the road because really there is mostly one road at this point. And you keep going for another hour or so before you spot some roofs in the distance. And Nimbo, you will have passed through this town once, but probably some time ago, depending on when you last returned home. You get closer to this village, and you notice it's, you know, a handful, maybe 20 odd buildings, and a sign outside as you approach says, "Welcome to Bearfell, last sign of civilization." The river, one of the rivers, the smaller rivers that streams out into the lake, just gently flows alongside as you get to the first houses. They're all very simple buildings, farm-style cottages mostly, with one building a bit larger than the others, with a sign hanging from it showing a rearing up unicorn on a red background. As you walk into the village, a woman looks up from where she is churning butter, spots the crest on Muck's armor, or perhaps the one Yarrow is carrying. He goes, "Oh, are you looking for your colleague?"
our colleague.
Yes, that lovely lady who stopped by a few days ago.
Do we know who this is referring to?
You do not at the moment, no.
Okay.
I'm just staying quiet because my lies have not worked.
Perhaps. Could you describe them for us?
Oh, a big turtle, wearing very well. It was a bit odd because of the shell, but wearing mage's robes and one of these crests. She said she would help us with the trouble we've been having, but well, she's not returned, and neither has the lad who'd escort her to fields. I assume she'd gone to get more help.
Does this sound like anyone you know?
At
Nimbo?
this point,
It sounds like some one of your lot, doesn't it?
Well, mage.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Does it sound like anyone I know either? I guess.
At this point, probably too little information, but you can make a charisma-based history check. Or an intelligence-based history check, depending on how much attention you pay to like student class lists.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You as well. This is for
yeah.
Sam and Alex.
So charisma-based history check. So
Yes.
That is 17.
15.
Okay. You both. There's a few turtles who you've seen at Cigaras. There's most of them are younger than you, so it would be strange if they'd come through here. Blirta, you can't remember her name right now, but there was a student, a wizard a couple of years above you, who would probably still be part of the Crest Guard, who this could be referring to, but you can't remember her name.
Oh yeah, her. Yes. Which way did she go? Did you say?
Well, you'd have to ask Crota that. It's open happening over in his fields.
Okay.
Could you
It would be really helpful if you give us all this detail. Who is Crota? Where are they? What do we need to ask them?
Crota Bundy is one of the other farmers. At this time, he's probably on his way to the Royal Unicorn, and there's a beast that's been rampaging, tearing up all sorts of things, crops, buildings, people, livestock. Mostly, not so much people, mostly livestock.
I was just going to say, I would have assumed you would have led with that.
I get the two confused.
That's also.
I mean, we're
disconcerting.
all animals.
What type?
Exactly, dear.
What type of creature?
Oh, that I don't know.
Can I insight check this woman because she just
Sure.
refers to people as a kind of livestock, and that makes
Vibe check.
13.
13. There's definitely something weird about her, but it doesn't sound like she meant it maliciously. It seems like she doesn't really know the details, and she's trying. It's like village gossip.
Okay.
She's trying to come out of this as if she knows more than she actually does.
Okay. So
you're not entirely sure which parts of what she's saying is true, but most of it this is true, and she might be embellishing slightly.
okay. So I guess we should find this Crota then.
Oh, he'll be on his way to the unicorn. And she points towards the inn, with the unicorn sign hanging out front.
DM question: are we old
Yes.
enough to drink?
Medieval times, sure.
I am.
Cool. Right.
Muck is. The rest of
Yeah.
you've got official sigils. You can. They might not let you get completely smashed depending on the establishments.
Science and sorcery does not endorse underage drinking. Stay
Listen,
sober
until
and
I
in
was
school.
until I was 18, the Dutch drinking age was 16. So then they changed it to 18 when I turned 18, and I could still drink. Kids, just be sensible.
and don't get caught.
This channel is marked as for mature audiences. So
Yes.
Well, there we
Yeah.
go. If you're a kid, why the fuck are you watching this?
For the science.
It's educational.
Today,
We've had
kids, we've
one
learned
science fact.
cats don't have molars.
Actually,
there
there was.
There was also a kind of push on cats are obligate carnivores, and that's why I vomited. But
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't explicit.
We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
we'll get to that. I'm sure it'll come up.
I googled when we were on a bridge that a sheep is between 1.2 and 1.8 meters long, but I didn't think it was good enough.
Wait, how is a sheep 1.8 meters long? That's enormous.
It's a
I
big
know,
sheep.
that's what I thought. I guess
Some
I
Unless
should
it's like
specify
they
which
don't have the
type.
cut tails, maybe. Like if they've got...
That's only that one sheep that escaped in New Zealand and was like feral for 5 years, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
found it, and it was the size of a truck.
Oh, that sheep. Yeah, I remember that sheep.
That one wasn't with those goblins.
Oh,
That one's still loose.
We're heading to
That
the
one
unicorn.
might be the beast here.
So we head to the pub.
yes.
All right, you go. It's like 2 houses down on the other side of the street. This is a very small village, and as you open,
As we go in, I'm gonna pat M on the back and say, you seem to know people, and be a bit less objectionable than the other one. I trust you with this. I'm gonna just take a back seat on this, and I cast guidance on you.
oh,
Thank you.
okay. You enter this small, dark inn. There is there's like a fireplace off on one side, but the fire is not yet lit, and a couple of tables set out with some chairs around it. It's currently seems to be empty. There's a corner you can't quite see around. There could be people there. But what you do notice is behind the bar, several old kind of rickety bar stools, is something which surprises all of you. A type of person you don't see here very often. Tall, lean but slightly muscled build with yellow brownish fur and a big brown mane. A Leonin looks up at you as you enter. Says, welcome travelers to the Royal Unicorn. And that is what we'll pick up next time.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I will make a note that M's got some guidance, and I will try to remember that guy's accent.
I love him already.
Okay. He's a fun guy. Just you wait. How's everyone feeling?
Yeah, good.
Can I romance him? Can I fall in love with him?
Yes, of course.
Just from that, I just know he's the one.
I mean, also depends how old he is, because it might be weird if he's really...
I was going to say gap year kid coming on to
I
barman.
genuinely, as soon as you said that, I looked over at my NPC cheat sheet and I was like 80 plus, and I realized I was looking at the wrong character. I was like, wait a second, this guy's not meant to be that old.
This elderly barman.
I'm like,
An elderly lion. I'm
Reboots.
Rachel, I'm gonna let you do what everyone wanted to do, watching The Lion King as a small child and romance Simba.
Yay!
That was the first session of our new campaign, everyone. It is now, before we sign off, time to do a fun new thing we're going to be doing for this campaign, which the audience can get involved in. We're going to be choosing our MVP for the session. The MVP, who players and audience can choose, gets a thing called a Moment of Awesome. And all credit for this goes to my home game DM, Gregor, for coming up with it. The Moment of Awesome can be used in your next game or the next session to re-roll a dice, to do something particularly cool, as long as I agree to it, or regain a spell slot, something like this. So, audience, please let us know, who do you think was the most valuable player of this episode, and players as well. Do feel free to nominate either yourself or each other.
I think Muck's crit on the ghast that did something, what was it, like 20 damage or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
pretty
was
cool.
impressive.
I think without Nimbo's leadership, we would all be. I don't even know where we would be. I'm nominating Nimbo.
Yeah, I would have went with Nimbo as well in terms of the What's the word you actually want? Just
Diplomacy?
Like, diplomacy. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, the diplomacy in the bridge. Okay, the audience has decided they don't want to pick favorites, so they're just rolling a d4. That also works.
That's cute.
I respect that. That's sweet.
Oh, okay. I think we've got 3 votes for Muck now, and is that Alex? Have you voted, or do we also have 3 votes for Nimbo?
I think we have 3 votes for each. So mine is, I'm going to vote for Muck as being like kind of the voice of reason.
Red.
The comparatively normal one.
Yeah, I did chuck some weird people together, didn't I?
It's like
Really
these
weird.
4 maniacs. They're who we need to solve.
Honestly, I knew all of your characters, and this is not how I expected your meeting to go. So, yep,
That's what
that
works.
happens. Okay, Muck gets our first awarded moment of awesome with 4 votes. So next session, you'll be able to use that in a potentially sticky situation, or if you want to just try something cool.
I'm gonna romance the lion.
Muck is gonna romance a 40-something-year-old lion on the next episode of Witness to Ruin.
I cannot wait.
And with that, I will just very quickly ask our fantastic guest players for this campaign. You're not really guests at this point anymore. You're just here all the time now.
We're just sleeping on the
Khalil-
sofa.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not at home, so my poor flatmates. She texted me earlier. We're missing some pans. Can you please return those? Khalil, where can people find you in the things you do? Apart from on my sofa.
You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Talks a Lot. It's mostly a mixture of Palestinian activism, science stuff, anarcho-socialism, and random stuff that falls out of my head. You can find me co-hosting the Natural History Museum podcast Wild Crimes that came out last year. It's a true crime podcast about wildlife crime, and we've got another podcast coming out this summer, so keep an eye out for that. I'm also available for freelance work. Drop me a line.
And Rachel, how about you?
At the moment, just at @SciWithRach on Twitter. If you're around in or around London, I'm gonna be performing next Friday. I can't really remember. I'll put it all on my Twitter, but I'm doing some comedy next week and the week after.
Oh, amazing.
Around London.
Yay! All right, if you're around London, go watch Rachel do comedy. I've seen Rachel do comedy. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Alex, anything new with you? You're at Alex J. Holtz,
Yes,
I believe,
Alex
still.
Holt. Yes, I do art. Get me to do art
Alex,
for you.
yes,
For money.
pay Alex to do art for you for money. And Sam.
Yeah, as always, at Scottish Psychom, so at Scottish Psychom on Twitter.
Just
and
type
yes,
any of those letters into Twitter and
You'll
might
find
find
me.
Sam.
And yeah, please do hire me for science communication freelance work.
Yes.
Could do with it.
Or watch Sam's video game Twitch streams. I believe those are fun. I have not managed to tune in for one yet, but I might this week.
Oh, you should have
can
been there
find-
last night when a couple of us were just like laughing at your hangover cures because they're awful. That's the sort of chat. That you can
Catch
get.
Science and Sorcery in 2 weeks' time. Sam and I will both be in Glasgow, and I'm gonna hungover fight him in a Taco Bell and live stream it for everyone to see. I've hired Elizabeth Mills as my camera woman. It'll be fun. You can find me on Twitter at DJ Vadovan. And other than that, you can find me here again next Wednesday for the second session of Witness to Ruin. You can follow Science and Sorcery on Twitter at Science Sorcery. You can find us on Patreon if you want to help support us. Maybe we can buy our guests some things at some point, or ourselves equipment if we need it, at Science and Sorcery. We're also on Redbubble, where you can support us at Science N Sorcery. I hate these are all different names, but character limits. That's the places you can find us.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yep, that's all we got. Next week, Friday, we're back here as well with another charity one-shot, but we'll tell you about that next Wednesday first. So see you again next week. We've already told you. We're going to tell you again. See you next Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. Good night.